Have you ever been bullied? I'm assuming all of you said yes to that because pretty much everyone in the world at some point in their lives has been made fun of for something. But if you're someone who said no, you're most likely a liar. Or the coolest person on the planet, you're very fortunate. God bless you, I suppose. But it's time you start getting bullied, so I'll go ahead and be your first experience with it. Fuck you, stupid face. Now we're all on an even playing field. So I'm sure, like I said, all of us have experienced, in one way or another, being made fun of by our peers. But I think what very few of us have experienced is being bullied by the person who gave us life.
I am so pissy today. Just downright motherfuckers today.
This lady who kicks off this rant with a Chewbacca screech is an OnlyFans model who has a child. And she's about to go on this big spiel about how her child being sick at school has cock-blocked her. And she just starts insulting her own flesh and blood. Admittedly, I'm also a bit confused on what she even means when she says she's downright motherfuckers today. Am I out of touch or is she the problem? I don't get what that means. It seems like she's just desperately trying to be like quirky.
I had to come up here. I had to come up here at fucking 11 o'clock in the afternoon. That's prime time. That's prime time. If you know what I mean.
She goes non-verbal there for a moment and starts spamming Fortnite emotes. But don't worry, I'm picking up what she's putting down here. So she's complaining that she's now had to go all the way out here at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, which immediately is news to me. I didn't know 11 o'clock made it to the afternoon. Feels like it probably shouldn't meet that criteria, but who am I to question such an intellectual? But she's upset because apparently 11 o'clock is prime time coitus. Which again, very enlightening information for me. My third eye is being forced open here to the truth. 11 o'clock feels like it'd be one of the most inconvenient times to schedule your fucking bedroom ham sandwich appointments. It feels like that's right in like the middle of the workday for a lot of normal people. It's also just generally early for such debauchery. But who am I to be questioning this? She's upset because it's now intruded upon her having sex. And now she's inconvenienced and she's irate.
But listen, so that's partly why I'm cranky, but I'm cranky because my child is 10. I had to come up to the school and I had to pick him up. Why? Why did I have to fucking pick this kid up? I had to pick this kid up because he's a man, okay? He's a little man and he's got a weak-ass stomach like fucking most men do.
She gets so heated that her eyes start going cross during this. He's not a little man. He's a little kid. He's 10 years old. He's a boy. And he was puking. It makes sense that the school would call the mother to come pick up the kid because he puked a few times. Can you imagine being the kid and seeing your mom just flaming you online in a viral rant? Like, that's gotta be downright diabolical to experience. Especially if, like, his classmates see it. That'll just be infinite ammunition to use against him anytime they want to make him feel bad. Just bring up that his mom insults him publicly online. It also feels so weird hearing his actual mother refer to him as this kid. That's like something you used to say on Xbox Live during some Call of Duty shit talking. Oh, this kid's just fucking camping, noob-tube one-man army, coward. Like, I don't know why she, like, harbors such disdain for him here over something he can't control. Puking.
So somebody busted ass in the library. He threw up not one time, not two times, but 3 times in the library. Fucking literally the nurse calls and she's like, you're gonna have to come pick up your son because he just vomited 3 times in the library, like Exorcist style, all over the place. Why? He's not even sick. Some kid farted next to him and he said that it made his stomach feel bad.
She tries to channel her inner Jim Carrey here for the comedy of the video. And I'm not entirely sure if this is real or not, this story she's telling, or if she's just trying to put on some kind of performance. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you try and dilute cringe, it's still cringe. The result will be the same here. She does have a child, and you are using him as the punchline of your joke. assuming this is all just a made-up story. And if anyone in his schools from his class sees this, they will undoubtedly make fun of him for it, because you are making fun of him. I remember when I was growing up, I used to get made fun of for being short, or actually there was a period in 4th grade where there was one guy in particular who used to make fun of me for having really red lips, so he called me Lipstick Boy. He was the only one that made fun of me in that manner, but for some reason that really struck a chord and it made me feel terrible. I couldn't imagine then going home and like hopping on TikTok and seeing my mom be like, my son just fucking puked 3 times because someone let out a stinky fart. What a weak boy. What a weak little man. And it makes me upset because I was about to fuck. I was about to have some naughty sex. And now I've got my stupid son who needs to get picked up from school. What a waste of time and what a waste of space that kid is. It's like, Jesus, that would hurt on such an unbelievably profound level. It would actually hurt more if this is a fake story. Like, Mom, why are you lying about me just to dunk on me for internet points? Like, Jesus, why are you treating me like a punching bag? And, of course, I'd go into school the next day, afraid, looking over my own shoulder, like, every step of the way down the hallway, wondering who's going to insult me if they happen to see my mom's viral video.
So I have to interrupt my day because some kid's got a rank asshole? That's a new kind of skip block. What? That's some bullshit. And I was like, does he have to pick it up? Like, can it be like an hour? Can we like work something out? And he was like, he needs to be picked up immediately because he threw up.
I really don't get why she tries to censor herself. So instead of saying cock block, she just puts up the C and then like, I don't know, stop sign. I actually don't really know what that was. A fucking force push at the camera. But like she does like mouth the words cock block, and I don't know why she doesn't just say it with her whole chest. She says bullshit, she says fuck. Like, it's not as though she's censoring bad words or anything. So what is the point in all of these huge, exaggerated Pixar animation gestures when talking about you having to leave getting piped to pick up your kid? I don't really understand the point of that.
He threw up because he has a weak stomach. What about the kid who busted ass so fucking bad that he cleared out an entire goddamn library? That seems like a problem. He seems like he should get some medical attention. Not my kid.
Busted ass doesn't mean what you think it means, lady. It doesn't refer to farting, it refers to falling and hurting yourself. That's when you bust ass. What you're looking for, what you're trying to use, is ripping ass. Ripping ass is what you're trying to describe here. You're not even using the correct terminology. You're not using the preferred scientific nomenclature to refer to this incident.
Not my kid who's just got a weak stomach. Damn. It's not, I'm gonna Kool-Aid man through the side of a wall today. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, I'm gonna do because I'm pent up and I got a lot of aggression.
Here's what I think. I think at some level this story has true elements, but it's embellished for the sake of her being able to exaggerate because she thought it would make for a silly video that TikTok would gobble up. But I don't know why she thought it would go over well. At the core of this story she's telling, it's she's having sex, has to stop having sex because her child is puking at school, and she's insulting her child for that. It's a horrible look for you. This is not a story you'd ever share if it was true, because it would be embarrassing and make you look like an very uncaring mom. But if it's fake, it makes you look like an attention-seeking clout chaser that will use their kid as a stepping stool, like a fucking doormat, for some clout. There's just no winners with whatever your plan was with this video. Regardless of the authenticity of the story told here, at the very least, it is cringe. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. If there's one thing you need to know about me, it's that this tooth, this one right here, that little bastard, is about 1 centimeter taller than the other teeth on that bottom row. And now, anytime you see my mouth open, you won't be able to unsee it. You're welcome. And the other thing you really need to know about me is that I cannot stand when people cause problems for customer service workers, in particular, fast food employees. I've made countless videos shitting on narcissists that are fishing for clout by exploiting fast food employees for views on TikTok or YouTube through pranks or just being a general nuisance, just a hemorrhoid on society. They're just normal people and they're getting paid minimum wage to deal with the most insufferable people on the planet. Just truly degenerate assholes, and my heart breaks for them. Fast food workers get abused more than a fleshlight. It sucks. And over the last week or so, there's been a new trend that has really blown up that once again just treats these human beings as if they're just NPCs, props for their TikTok and YouTube Shorts videos. It's filming your Chipotle order being made by the Chipotle worker.
I'll get a bowl. Yeah, for to go. I'll get white rice with that.
The idea is they're going to give you more food because they're on camera. And it spawned because people were starting to talk about Chipotle portion sizes being smaller than they used to be, which for the record, I do believe. That is a conspiracy theory I'll put on the full tinfoil condom for, because I do think that's accurate, no matter how much the CEO likes to dance around in delusion and pretend that that's not the facts of it. I do think it is true. I used to get a Chipotle burrito after every lift in college, and I had innumerable Chipotle burritos, and over the last 3 or 4 years, I've been very vocal about the quality of the food going down, in my opinion, and definitely, like when I get burritos now, it's significantly less than I remember it being back then. But I also think that's just kind of the industry norm, because I think the same thing about many other fast food places as well. But anyway, someone on TikTok came up with a cure to this small portion disease, and it was to just film these workers doing their job and kind of give them a bit of a hard time and nudge them on camera to give them more food. And this started to really pop off because a lot of people noticed that, oh, when they're being filmed, they give you more food. So that's the cheat code. That's the life hack.
Rice blank or pinto beans?
We'll do pinto beans with that.
Pinto beans, any protein for you?
We'll do chicken, please.
Chicken. Any queso for you?
We need some more chicken in that.
More chicken?
Finna fire on your ass. Put that chicken in there.
All right. Any queso for you?
This one is by far the worst I've seen from this trend here. This guy went in there looking to start shit. He's immediately aggressive and confrontational. The guy hadn't even put the fucking spoon fully into the chicken bowl there before he said, no, 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 need more chicken. He's there to stir a controversy for the sake of his video. And he is just shoving the camera down this guy's throat. If the worker had bent over, the camera guy here would have given him a full-blown fucking colonoscopy. He is right up in his business to just be this insufferable douchebag that's hassling him for the sake of this video that he's filming. Now, it's filmed from another angle, but I can't find that full video. I can only find this one through Twitter.
We need some veggies. Get some green veggies. Yeah, a little bit more, a little bit more.
No problem.
A little bit more.
No problem.
Straight up. Oh, they gonna have to hold me accountable.
When he was asked pretty politely to just stop putting the camera in this guy's face, not even asked to stop filming, by the way, just asked to like, hey, maybe don't be up in this guy's nutsack with your camera, he immediately starts yelling about it. He's immediately throwing a fucking temper tantrum. Even though it was a super reasonable request, because look at how close he's getting to this guy. He is leaning over the counter to get as close as possible. It's like he's going in for a kiss, like he's trying to fucking make out with the guy here.
Nothing else?
That'll be all. And if you got problems, I'll fire your ass up. Hold me accountable.
It's fine. I just don't want to be in his face like that.
You're gonna have to hold me accountable.
Sir, this is Chipotle's. Why are you yelling and screaming? Why are you hooting and hollering here? Goodness gracious, it's like a hostage situation here. The worker did everything you ask. Leave them alone. All they requested is that you take the camera out of that guy's mouth. They didn't even ask that you stop filming, even though they should have. They should have walked over and slapped that fucking phone right out of your hands, douchebag. That's what should have happened. But it didn't. You still got to have your TikTok video, and you're still huffing and puffing about it. It's incomprehensible to me. Even when people who did this trend weren't harassing the worker making their food, I still don't like it. I think it is still dog shit. You're just being a nuisance to just average everyday people just going about their lives. They're getting paid minimum wage to make your food, and you're making it a huge headache for them by putting them on camera when I know for a fact they don't want to be. The reason you're getting more food shouldn't be some kind of mystery. The reason is because no one wants to deal with being shamed online. It's not like these people are just drones, AI that are cut off from the rest of the world. These people have access to the internet, same as you. They know what this trend is. And they know if they give you anything less than fucking colossal proportions that could feed a family of 8, then they're going to get insulted in your TikTok video. So obviously they play along with it. Like, it shouldn't be surprising that you do get more food when you film the workers here and put this big spotlight on them, because now you've turned it into a huge song and dance, and they want to do everything possible to avoid a negative situation with their life here that you have now thrust upon them for your own, you know, TikTok or YouTube short. I think it sucks. I think it is sucked from the very beginning. I don't like that the portion sizes at Chipotle have shrunk, obviously. But what I would never do is blame the workers for it. They're not making the corporate decisions for the portion sizing or anything like that. And if you do get less than you want, you can politely ask if you can have like another scoop or something. Like, that's just normal socialization 101. You don't have to resort to the nuclear option here.
And that ain't no issue. Anybody in here can get it. Straight up. You can call the police. I ain't break no law. Wait, what? Whoa, why you lying like police?
This guy's fuming so hard that he immediately gave himself amnesia and forgot that he just threatened the entire restaurant. She said, all right, I'm gonna call the police because you're threatening people. He's like, you're fucking lying! Who did that? Where? When did that happen? You're telling a fib. That's a tall tale. And I don't appreciate it, Buster. Even though literally 5 seconds ago, he just threatened the entire restaurant for some reason. He's just having a full-blown voice-cracking conniption here in front of the entire Chipotle for this trend. And I still don't even know what there is to be mad about. He got big portions on his bowl. Mission accomplished. And he successfully made everyone in that restaurant's day a little bit worse. Yippee. Wahoo! That's great. So yeah, overall, I think that this filming Chipotle workers trend is garbage. I think it is just trash. I could bring up countless other examples because it's become such a viral hit here, but they're all so annoying. They're not nearly as bad as this one. This one is by far the worst I have seen so far. The only ones that I somewhat appreciate are the ones where the Chipotle worker gives them significantly less food because they're filming. I fuck with that. I think that's great. That should be the gold standard going forward here. You come in and you start filming the workers, well, I hope you enjoy 5 tiddlywinks of rice and 1 little glob of chicken. And that's it. Put a smile on your face and get the fuck out. But anyway, yeah. Don't like the trend. Hopefully the trend is over soon. That's about it. So yeah. There's a Kick streamer whose name I've treated like Voldemort over the last year or so. I've never bothered talking about her because that's the only thing she cares about is her name leaving people's lips no matter how negative it is. She exists for one sole purpose, to make everyone around her angry at her. It's in her delusional mind, the brain parasites tell her that that's a good thing. So I've just never bothered insulting her or making fun of her because that's like having sex with a cuck's wife. It's exactly what they want. But today she did something particularly heinous.
Right? No. No. All right. You know why I wasn't going to? Because my feet were getting
You should
hot.
just jump in right now.
But I'm going to jump in with my shoes on.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Ready? Oh! Wait, what the fuck?
I love how she's somehow surprised that the lady jumped in after she spent the better part of 15 minutes trying to convince her to jump in, and even tried to bribe her with $20 to do so. And now all of a sudden she's fucking soy-facing, shocked that the lady actually did it. So I went back and I watched most of the stream, which was... I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. Now, she's gone viral in the past for other degenerate activity, such as wearing painted-on pants at a gym, or doing a kidnapping children prank and faking a ton of shit around all of her other work to try and cause as much controversy as possible to farm clout off of it. But this one is a little bit different. So, the lady she had jump in is someone who apparently cannot swim. She said that she can only float and can't swim, and I initially thought that this was just more staged, phony baloney, garbage. But from a couple of the articles I read, they're reporting that the fire department in the area really did pull a woman out of that lake on this day. So it does seem like it's real.
Yeah, do you want to have a play date?
You want to jump in with me?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll do it with you.
I'd rather go skinny dipping with you if I'm being honest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll do
Chad,
it.
they're all saying you're sexy and shit.
Really?
Yeah, they're all saying W woman, she's thick as fuck. You should jump in the water to find it for me.
Well, why don't you jump in with me?
I'll give you $20.
$20?
Yeah, that's a W.
No, come
that's
on,
a good deal.
jump in with me.
$20.
Hot.
Yeah, so you go in.
No, you gotta go in.
You
with
go
me.
in. You try to find the
You
scanner.
said you're gonna jump in with me.
I'll jump in after you.
We're jumping together.
The Kick streamer is on a scavenger hunt trying to locate the final Dragon Ball so she can finally make a wish to be something other than the failure that she is, and she encounters this woman who's on the dock, and she tries to convince that woman to jump in the water to look for the tracker that she's trying to hunt. So she's putting on a fucking Shark Tank pitch here, saying that she'll give the lady $20 to jump in, and that, oh, she'll follow once she jumps in, this and that, and then basically is just trying to farm her for content so that way the stream can laugh at this lady jumping in the water when the streamer never had any plans of doing so. And their interaction lasts like 10-ish minutes before the lady jumps in the water, and it seems as though she's quite vulnerable. So it's extremely fucking sad to see her being exploited by this Kick degenerate here and put into a position that's life-threatening because allegedly she can't swim, which is why the fire department eventually got called, which you do see on stream a bit later.
Did you see her ass? What? Oh,
You said it was okay.
You said you wanted to swim.
You told me to jump in.
I didn't tell you to jump in.
Yes,
Yeah, you did.
did.
Just
You said you were gonna
Thank you guys.
swim
We're
in.
gonna have you guys get off the stop.
Wait, who is that? What the fuck is going on? We should... I don't even...
I can't swim. I can only float.
Oh, she might literally die.
No, stop. Seriously, don't stop. Please, you're actually freaking me out. No, please.
You can really see the concern wash over each of their smiling faces as they're confronted with the very real possibility that that woman might drown and die because of the streamer's actions. I really wish this streamer had stuck with her OnlyFans as opposed to trying to pivot her career into just being an absolute insufferable piece of shit. I know her OnlyFans was flopping harder than Morbius, but by God, I mean, it might save lives if she had just stuck with it. The butterfly effect you can never fully comprehend until it's too late. So anyway, the woman that she has prodded into jumping in the water is now saying that she can't swim, and they're laughing about it because she might die, and to them that's hilarious. They can't stop giggling like someone's over there tickling their armpits. It's craziness. Like, the dude comes over and he's like, she might die. Fucking the camera goober over here is so excited. Like, he's like zooming in, trying to get like the last moments of like the air that she'll get from the surface before she goes under, praying that maybe this is the moment that he's able to bond close enough to the streamer where she might give him a peck on the cheek and thank him for his service. Like, she is surrounded by these henchmen that orbit her, just swarm her like mosquitoes on a pile of dog shit. And this is something that was prevalent throughout the entire stream. They're literally just there to try and have sex with her is what it seems like. No one enjoys being around her. They don't like her company, from what I can tell.
Yeah, we have like phones and stuff, so that would friggin' suck.
Would you be able to hold this for 1 minute?
No.
Is it because you're afraid of getting called a simp?
Yeah, I don't like it.
They're saying you're alpha male. You're not
No,
a
they're
simp.
not.
Yes, they are. They're saying alpha.
Absolutely. they're
Everybody's
not.
saying alpha male.
Okay.
Sorry to say, brother, but I've got to diagnose you with a very severe case of simp. You might not like it, but it's a tough pill to swallow. That is literally what you are. Textbook definition. All of the insects that are around her fall into that category. When I went through and watched the stream, all of them seemed like perpetually annoyed by her, but were trying their best to hide it. And they're used as punching bags by her and her community to laugh at them and insult them. Like, how could, like, it's so pathetic. It's not just her that's pathetic. It's the people that surround her, too.
Please, God. No, she's floating.
She's drowning.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself. She says she's drowning.
Oh, this is bad.
Dude, Natalie.
Sorry, I didn't know. We leave.
Oh, this is bad.
Invaluable assistance provided by her and her team of dweebs. They just read chat messages and laughed at it, which obviously is helping her get to safety. She's out there drowning, but luckily all of the chat messages that the streamer and her team were reading were helping lift her to the surface and carry her to shore. They just fucking left. They recognized what was going on. They recognized the very real possibility that this woman might die, and they just said, alright, I'm outski. Time to bounce. We're gonna scram now. Good luck. And they just leave her there. That's fucking insanity. And they laugh about it because people like her don't treat the other human beings around them as if they're real people. To her, everyone else is just an NPC, a prop that she can use for content and nothing else. That's the extent of their presence in her world. And once they've outlived their usefulness, she doesn't care about them, which is why she clearly doesn't give a fuck that that woman might drown out there, because she doesn't even view them as a person. That was just a piece of content for her, so she has no qualms about just leaving.
She said she's drowning. She said she's drowning.
I think you literally just murdered a lady.
No, I didn't. I swear.
I think you
No,
literally.
I didn't. Let's go. There, she's drowning in the lake.
God, there's a fire truck. Nah, this is bad.
Like I said, I was initially skeptical when I saw this clip blowing up on Twitter because she has a history of faking shit. So I thought this might be another scripted thing just to get some, like, rage clicks to her stream, which I always think is a dumb fucking business decision. But when I went back and watched all of this happen as it unfolded on the stream, this does seem very real, because that fire truck does show up at, like, a very quick time from the second that she gets in the water and other people are, you know, catching on to what just happened, to them telling the streamer and her friends to leave. The fire truck pulls up only a matter of minutes later, so I'm guessing they must have called 911. They sent out the emergency response team to save this lady who can't swim. So it all does seem real. This doesn't seem like it's all just a bunch of fucking smoke and mirrors here as some kind of, you know, ingenious supervillain play from this kick streamer to try and get a couple extra viewers. She is just a piece of shit. She actually would have killed that woman if there weren't others around to call 911. That's unfathomable to me. Not only did she not do anything to help, but the dudes that are with her did nothing to help. All they did was laugh at the situation where someone's life was actually in danger. That's so fucked up.
That is, I did not know she was mentally ill. I thought she was just trying to have fun. I thought she was drunk or something. I don't know what you guys are talking about. What? Wait, why is she just here though? If she's like mentally ill, does she just like roam around the like area? Of course this happens like what? 30 minutes of my stream? Like, I spent time convincing someone to jump. See, now she's just floating in the water. I think she's on drugs.
I just had to toss this little turd nugget in here as a little bonus clip. This is after she convinces the woman to jump in the water and she leaves the dock. She tries to, like, play the victim here, where she's like, ugh, of course this happens 30 minutes into my stream. This selfish, mentally ill woman comes up to me and, well, I have to try and exploit her for content, so I convince her to jump in the water, and it turns out she's mentally ill. What's she doing here? You know, getting me in potential trouble 30 minutes into my stream. Oh my goodness gracious. Playing the victim is her bread and butter, by the way. That's her signature anime finishing move. She always defaults to playing the victim in every situation that she causes. If I had to give her like one compliment, I'd say that she's talented at being a professional victim. She always does shit like this. So even in this situation, where she even knows she is 100% in the wrong, she goes on Twitter after this all blew up and said, "The lady wanted to swim. They told me to leave and stop filming. That's why we left. And she got the help she needed and is fine. Stop dragging me. Allah." What she did is indefensible, and she knows that. I watched the stream. She mentioned it and wrestled with it in her fucking empty little noodle multiple times about how she might have killed that lady. And she just doesn't care that much about that. All she cares about is whether or not it's going to lead to a viral clip and maybe a couple of extra viewers. That's it. And then she goes on Twitter and is like, oh, actually, everything was totally fine. We couldn't help because they told us to leave. They told you to leave because you weren't helping. You caused the problem and then did nothing to actively try and help in any way. So obviously they would want you out of there. You could have still done something to help. You could have called 911. Them telling you to leave doesn't just fucking, you know, launch an EMP that disables all your electronics where you can't dial 911. You could have called for help if you didn't want to actually get in the water and try and help her yourself. Like, it's so stupid. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible excuse. Like, it's not something you can ever possibly make an excuse for, but she still tries to get a couple, like, wah French cries in here, trying to drum up some sympathy for herself, even though she is just a piece of shit. Plain and simple. All she cares about is making people mad, so that way maybe people find her fucking awful streams. That's it. So I bet she is smiling right now. And in fact, I know she is, because I was watching her stream as I was making this video. She's live again. She doesn't care. This is a good thing for her. I think she's seeing more viewers than she was previously, so I bet she thinks this whole thing was absolutely fucking worth it, because she's not going to face any repercussions for this. It doesn't seem like anything's going to come from it, like on a legal side or criminal side or anything like that. So to her, this was just a smart play. Almost killing a woman on Kick for some extra viewers. So yeah, this lady super sucks. I think she is fucking terrible. That's really about it. So yeah. What an unbelievably crazy week on Kick. I was just talking about the French streamer Jean Parmenov, who passed away in his sleep on stream after a marathon of abuse from some other streamers. And just now, I literally just finished streaming Resident Evil 6, and I was taking a little tinkle, and I got sent a little something that is so diabolical, I had to hop back in the saddle and yap about it. It is incomprehensible that yet another potential death was just streamed on Kick. I'm recording this an hour after it happened, and the victim is currently still in the ICU, so I guess by the time I post this, I'll know whether or not they passed away, but I'm going to keep this part in here right now because it's up in the air. A Kick streamer, Raja Jackson, who is the son of Rampage Jackson, and also a professional fighter, just went fucking ballistic on a wrestler during a wrestling event on stream. He picks the wrestler up, slams him on the mat, and then lays down 27 punches to the man's skull, most of which were delivered while he was unconscious. And by the end of it, he is bleeding and bloodied. They couldn't wake him up. They said he was barely breathing, and someone even used the word flatline, that he was flatlined in the ring. This is not fake. This is not scripted. I did my best to censor this. It is brutal. It is extremely hard to watch. I also cut the clip short, but they pan back and he is covered in blood. Raja Jackson is a professional fighter who has unloaded, I counted 27 blows to an unconscious man. And they all are connecting. This is not like fake. It's not like he's pulling any of his punches. They are all hitting squarely on this man's skull, bouncing his head off of the mat. And I said most of them were when he was unconscious. All of them are while he's unconscious. When I watched it back, it's clear that when he slammed him on the mat, his head hit the mat and it knocked him out immediately. So all 27, potentially more, punches that he threw were on an unconscious man. That can be fatal. That is most oftentimes fatal. And he wasn't done either. It's not like he just stopped and said, okay, well, that's plenty. I've had my fill. He was still going. The only reason there weren't more punches thrown by him is because the other wrestlers were able to separate him. But he was fighting against them to go back and keep beating this unconscious man. He probably wouldn't have stopped punching him until his head popped like a balloon. It's extremely scary, and even if he does pull through, this could have life-changing repercussions with brain damage and so many other complications for the rest of his life, if he even survives, which we don't know yet. He apparently flatlined in the ring and is currently still in the ICU, and we don't have any updates. This is terrifying stuff. Hello, it's Charles, first thing in the morning here, and we don't have a ton of official updates on the condition of that wrestler, But the father of Raja Jackson, Rampage Jackson, gave an update where he is saying that Psycho Stu, that's the name of the wrestler, is alive and is stable. And he also says that he's clearing up misinformation about his son. But then in his statement, he doesn't clear up any misinformation. He just confirms what everyone already knows, that this was completely out of control, inexcusable behavior that Rampage Jackson also doesn't condone. So I don't know what misinformation he thinks he's clearing up with this. He's just agreeing with what everyone else is saying, that his son went fucking berserk. I guess maybe the misinformation demon that he was exercising here was about his son actually getting, like, the permission for payback on Psycho Stu for an earlier confrontation. And what he's referring to there is they had, like, a little beef before the event started, and someone had told Raja Jackson that he could, like, double leg take down Psycho Stu in the ring and then throw, like, a fake punch, and that would be it, to, like, settle the beef and create, like, this storyline. But Raja Jackson, on stream, on camera, says that he is going to hurt Psycho Stu. He said he will not stop punching him until people will yank him off of him. So he took that, like, pseudo-invite, like, green light to be involved in the wrestling event as a permission slip to go brutally assault this man and beat him within an inch of his life. Like, I think you could also make a case that this is attempted murder. This was premeditated assault that he planned on not stopping at any point until third parties intervened. Like, I really think you could make, like, a real argument that he had went in there with the full intentions of killing Psycho Stu. That's what it looks like to me.
Tell you guys this, they told me to hit him and just leave. Somebody who pulled me off of him will leave. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch.
That's indefensible. You can see him literally planning it off the back of them giving him, like, the instructions for a work where he'd come in and he'd deliver, like, a hit, like a fake hit, and then he'd be pulled off and that'd be the end of it. And he is saying, but watch this, I'm going to keep punching him. Like, he is blatantly stating this. It is very clearly a premeditated assault. And like I said, I really think his goal was to kill Psycho Stu there. It really seems like that was his mission. And you can't chalk this up to confusion where he was directed to do something but then just went a little far, like, mistakenly. He is, with his own voice, his own vocal folds, flapping with their own volition here. He is stating, they told me to do this, but instead, I'm going to do this. I'm going to punch him as many times as I possibly can. He is stating clearly that they told him one thing, and he is not doing that. Instead, he is going to punch the shit out of him, beat him within an inch of his life. You can't possibly say that he just got confused with the stage directions here of the storyline. He is saying that he is going to go punch him as many times as possible and disregard what they said he is permitted to do, like what they planned on. It is premeditated assault by every possible definition. Now, what started all of this, and I've seen people joking about it like, oh, haha, Raja Jackson must not know that wrestling is fake, and he thought the heel was being mean to his favorite babyface, so he took matters into his own hands, tee-hee-hee. But what actually happened is Raja Jackson was touring the event and meeting the wrestlers backstage, and of course the wrestlers are all playing characters, and when it comes to wrestling, there's a little something called kayfabe. And so they are going to portray their character to the best of their ability and keep everything as authentic and genuine as possible. And Psycho Stu was in character and misunderstood that Raja Jackson was not a worker in the event.
Worry about him. You need to be worried about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little...
Oh, you don't sell it?
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't sell it?
Dude, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, I will fuck him up, bro.
I know you will. We're good.
And he takes it way too far when he takes a beer can. I don't know if it's like a real beer can or like one of those breakaway like stunt ones, but he takes it and he crushes it on Raja Jackson's head. Then you can see him get really fired up about it, and all the other wrestlers are also saying to Psycho Stu, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? He's not like a worker here or anything. That was too far. And that's what started this. And then Raja Jackson waited until their match. Then he stormed in and then beat him potentially to death for it. Now, I think if Raja Jackson had swung on Psycho Stu after the beer can thing, you could definitely make a strong case that he was acting in self-defense. Because that is unexpected, it was unprovoked, and it was kind of a crazy thing for Psycho Stu to do, not knowing for sure if Raja Jackson was a worker in the event or not. It was a bad judgment call for sure from Stu. And he was just like way too fucking committed to being the heel. Like he was really deep into his method acting like fucking Shia LaBeouf style, and he did the beer can thing, and it was definitely over the line. But here's something a lot of people aren't showing enough of, that Psycho Stu was very apologetic when he learned that Raja Jackson was not a worker at the event. He apologized 3 times. They shook hands multiple times, and Raja said, like, hey, it's good, I get it. Multiple times. Meanwhile, he was just like bubbling with anger, waiting for his chance to fucking assault this man.
Fucking seal that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah, hello. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were camera.
I get it.
We're working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, Juice. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now you
know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're always working.
What a fucking worm. This is some slimy behavior here. This is some turbo ass. Raja Jackson is now pretending that he understands and forgives Psycho Stu, who is very apologetic, mind you, and he's explaining like, look, I saw the cameras, I thought that this was like another work, that we were building a storyline, this and that, and Raja Jackson's like, no, I get it, and he's like shaking his hand and everything. Meanwhile, he is actively planning of assaulting this man, beating him unconscious and fucking leaving him eating meals through a straw, as he is like pretending to let bygones be bygones here and that they're on good terms. That's fucking unhinged. Now, before showing you some more of the aftermath here, let me introduce you to Psycho Stu. I think you should get a little bit of the lore behind this wrestler that Raja Jackson beat so severely, hospitalizing in the ICU, and apparently caused to flatline in the ring.
Pro in 2009. I had just got out of the military, probably about 6 months earlier. I got out of the military, I joined Knox Pro, because I needed something to focus on. I needed something to help me adjust back into civilian life. A lot of veterans, it's hard for them to readjust into civilian life coming from the life of the military. I'm an American soldier that suffers from PTSD. Being in front of a crowd, it doesn't give me as much anxiety and aggression as I thought it would.
Yeah. Psycho Stu is a veteran who was suffering from PTSD and found wrestling as a means of escapism and fell in love with the sport. And now is currently hospitalized in the ICU, but apparently is stable, so hopefully Rampage Jackson is accurate with that claim, that he is alive and stable. That would be wonderful news. But what an unbelievable set of circumstances that led to his hospitalization here. Yes, he made a mistake with Rampage Jackson's son here, not knowing whether or not he was a worker, and still building the storyline anyway under the impression he was. But it's not a mistake that should have led to something like this, especially when he did everything in his power to try and rectify it, and try and apologize for his mistake, and explain why it happened, and ensure that it was totally unintentional and there wasn't meant to be any bad blood or anything. And he thought that he did accomplish that, but clearly Raja Jackson didn't actually think so. He was just acting. Raja Jackson was flexing his thespian skills here when he was pretending that everything was okay between those two, because what he was actually doing was plotting a premeditated assault on Psycho Stu. Again, that potential argument of self-defense, that has poofed away like Timmy Turner's fairy godparents. That ship sailed a long time ago because he didn't act in response to the threat. Like, after the beer can was crushed on his head, which, again, he wasn't expecting, and that can be dangerous, but he didn't, like, act in the heat of the moment to defend himself from that or anything. Instead, he let it marinate, let his rage bubble up, and then waited for his opportunity to get revenge later. There is no longer a possible case of self-defense here. Like, yes, he was wronged, but he didn't, like, try and defend himself from that threat or anything. He pretended to, like, move on from it with the guy who did it, and then waited to attack him later. and I think you can make a very strong case that it was attempted murder. At the very least, it is a premeditated assault, and based on the things he was saying leading up to it, and based on the behavior in the ring when he was delivering 27-ish blows to an unconscious man's skull, I really think there is a strong argument to be made that he was in there doing that solely to try and kill him. All of this on stream, mind you, and you can even see him respond to the news that the guy that he just unloaded 27 punches on in the ring while he was unconscious is potentially flatlined.
Hello? Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My bad.
You didn't have to do all that shit. I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to fucking take it there.
Alright, I'll call you back later.
This guy does not seem to care at all. This is a fucking monster right here. In response to hearing that the guy flatlined, he just says, "My bad." That's crazy. Kratos had more empathy for the people that he killed in very similar fashion, by the way, with like the unbelievable amount of blows to the head. But at least in Kratos' case, the people he was fighting, they were at least conscious. All of these were delivered to an unconscious man. A man who never even saw this coming, by the way, because he storms into the ring, grabs him, and then slams him. So it wasn't even a fight, but he walks away feeling so fucking tough and accomplished about it with no remorse at all for potentially killing this man.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them was a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
He's walking away from this with his chin held high, extremely proud of what's unfolded here. It seems like this might be the happiest moment of his life. The way that he is perceiving this is him standing up for himself. He is not able to have a grasp on the severity of what just happened here. He thinks that because the disrespect that he encountered earlier in the day, he was entirely justified to potentially murder this man. And by the way, the wrestlers that were calling him a bitch, well, I imagine they were saying that because he basically sucker punched this guy potentially to death. The guy never even had a chance to fight back because he came into the ring when his back was turned, slammed him down, immediately knocking him unconscious. It wasn't even a fight, it was a surprise attack. So I imagine that's what he's referencing when it comes to the wrestlers like insulting him and the one that bit him, with everyone that was like getting on top of Raja to get him away from Psycho Stu on the ground because he was still going back to try and make sure he was dead, it seems. Now, in the rest of the clip here, one of the wrestlers from the event starts walking towards them, talking to them, trying to get them to stay, probably until police get there would be my guess. But he is talking to them and he is shit-talking, trying to goad him into staying. And he's like talking about like, I'll fight you right now. And then it's a back and forth. But Raja Jackson reiterates that he wants to fight more of them there. He wants to continue to beat people within an inch of their life there. It's scary. I cannot imagine a world where he does not go to jail for this. I really can't. Rampage Jackson has tons and tons of money, sure, but I don't know if he's going to be able to outspend the attempted murder charges that his son just racked up here. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer and I don't have like a magic crystal ball that I can ponder the orb of to see the future, but my guess would be that there will be attempted murder charges for this incident. Because, I mean, I really think it's like... It feels like that's what the goal here was when Raja Jackson was delivering these blows. I mean, I think at bare minimum, you're getting some serious assault charges. Like, no matter what, I think he should be thrown in the slammer for this. This behavior is completely unacceptable. He knew exactly what he was doing. He even on-stream states what he's about to do. And he clearly doesn't stop until he is pulled off and then still wants to keep going. All of these blows delivered to an unconscious man. How could you possibly say this is anything other than him trying to kill him? It's fucking sickening. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I've recorded all of this pretty much immediately after it happened, so we still don't know how Psycho Stu is doing, if he's going to pull through from all of this or not. But by the time I post this video, I imagine we'll have some kind of update, so I'll go ahead and put that at the beginning of the video. But
as of right now, fingers crossed that he pulls through. Like, yeah, he definitely did make a big mistake with the beer can thing, but I don't think it's something that should have cost him his life here in this manner. This shit is unhinged. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
The best stories ever told are the ones that have the satisfying conclusion of the good guys winning in the end against evil, overcoming insurmountable odds to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat in a miraculous triumph. But we don't live in those stories, we live in cringe, so that's not always the case here in reality, and a haunting reminder of that fact is what just happened with Friendly Jordies. Friendly Jordies is an Australian YouTuber whom I've covered on the channel multiple times. I truly believe he is one of the best investigative journalists in the world, period. With no exaggeration, he risks his life to serve the community and inform them of corruption that it's gone unchecked, and his reward for this is his house being firebombed and his life being threatened multiple times. And these aren't the kind of death threats that you see all the time on Twitter where a 13-year-old anime fan gets upset if you say you don't like something about their favorite show. These are death threats from an organized group of criminals with a very scary history and a track record of already trying to murder Jordan Shanks, Friendly Jordies. They fucking firebombed his house. Well, actually, they firebombed his neighbor's house because the absolute goobers got it wrong the first time and then came back to try and finish the job by firebombing his actual residence. So they have already tried to take his life before. That's some shit that you only see in like espionage, blockbuster Hollywood films, and yet Friendly Jordies is living through it right now because New South Wales is so unbelievably corrupt that it's festering in the public eye. And yet the authorities that are supposed to protect and look out for the public safety are just closing their eyes and plugging their ears to all of this unfolding in front of them. It's despicable. It seems New South Wales is more corrupt than Gotham at this point. Friendly Jordies yesterday posted a video where he had to publicly admit defeat at the hands of this corruption, unfortunately.
You might have noticed that we haven't been releasing videos after the police arrested a suspect for the firebombing of my house. While we're very grateful for their persistence throughout this ordeal, we felt it would be prudent to see what the response would be from certain individuals.
If you haven't kept up with the lore here, I'll give you the previously on Dragon Ball Z recap. They did finally make an arrest on one of the suspects responsible for the firebombing of his house. It took about a year, but better late than never. Rather be tardy to the party than not show up at all. At least it's seeming like crime won't pay. They won't get away with this, right? Wrong! Idiot! Stupid! Can you stop sipping on your moron potion for a second? Put the stupid juice down? Of course the criminals are gonna get away with it, because I guess that's just the way things go in New South Wales. At least when it comes to criminals of this caliber. The very powerful ones, who are just seemingly above the law.
Their response has been one of rather perplexing confidence. Buoyed by the lack of further arrests, they have decided to be much more blunt with their requests, threatening anyone they believe had handed over information to assist with the creation of the video Coronation. This video detailed links former Deputy Premier John Barilaro had with development company Coronation Property. The video encompassed more than Coronation Property Associates. It included an array of spirited characters, many of whom were enraged with its release. Police have made it very clear that many of the prime suspects in the firebombing are in that video.
The video he's talking about here is a video Friendly Jordies and his team released called Coronation, and this shit was so hot it'd leave the toilet bowl steaming. It was massive. Friendly Jordies and his team released a firebomb of their own with this one here. Coronation highlights a lot of horrible things going on with a lot of very scary and powerful people doing bad shit. And they were not happy that this video got posted, and it put a target on Friendly Jordies' back. Really, it put the target right on his fucking forehead, right on his noggin, because this was a big deal. It caused a lot of ripples, and it made him public enemy #1 of this group of people.
Now, over a year later, these figures are once again venting, threatening dire consequences if the video isn't taken down. Given these people's colourful history, we don't consider these to be idle threats. Naturally, we contacted the appropriate authorities, but it appears these men have engulfed the state in a state of fear. It appears these men are indeed above the law. It appears these men are free to point the scythe at anyone they wish, blackmail them with the most heinous, violent acts imaginable, and there is not an authority in the land powerful enough, or perhaps foolhardy enough, to check them.
Just tragic. Where do you go when the authorities abandon you? What are you supposed to do when the people that are supposed to protect you refuse to, because the people that are coming after you are stronger than them and out of their reach, just untouchable? What can you possibly do besides just comply?
But if the content of coronation is to fall on willfully deaf ears, if its only tangible result is the death of innocent people, we will not have their lives hang on our conscience. In other words, you win. We're taking down the video. Congratulations, you run this city.
It's sad because it's such an important piece of investigative journalism, but it's also the only choice they could make in this situation. This isn't a group that's making idle threats. They have already firebombed twice, and they have a history of doing a lot more, as was highlighted by Jordy's and his team. So they did the only thing they could when faced against this enemy. They just complied. They took down that video. Now, of course, since it's the internet, nothing's ever really gone forever in this cyberspace, except of course for all my old YouTube videos I deleted when I was a teenager because I was embarrassed of them and worried that the copyrighted music would cause a problem, so I deleted them in like 2012. And I desperately want those videos back, but they can't be reclaimed. Those are the only things in the entire documented history of the World Wide Web that are apparently just fucking poofed out of existence forever and can't be brought back. But aside from that, nothing else has ever really gone forever. There's always re-upload, there's always archives of it. So in this case, Coronation, the video that he had to take down, is re-uploaded 1,000 times already. So it's not like completely dead and buried or anything like that, and I saw a lot of people saying this could actually, you know, start the Streisand effect here on this and have even more eyes on this group, which I guess is possible, but I think the big victory for them is that they've shown that they can kind of bully and strong-arm anyone with impunity. They can't be touched by authorities. They just have this green light to do whatever they want with no repercussions, so they're able to force Jordy's to take down a video they didn't like. And they're just demonstrating that power here, and I think that's kind of what they were aiming to do, not so much shut down the information, because I'm sure they knew that this was just going to be re-uploaded, but it's just kind of letting Jordy's and pretty much everyone else know that they can do what they want. And it's very fucking scary, just how powerful they are. Being a real investigative journalist has to be one of the most dangerous things you can do. I've mentioned this a few times before, but this isn't like the only example of this happening to an investigative journalist. It just happens to be one of the few times that happens to be a YouTuber as well, so more people are made aware of what's going on. One of the biggest ones that I always go to is the Panama Papers, if any of you remember that. The Panama Papers were a massive deal for about a day. And then collectively, the whole world stopped talking about it mysteriously, even though the Panama Papers were quite alarming. And one of the lead investigative journalists behind the Panama Papers released was actually killed in a car bomb, and nobody ever talked about it. I bet most of you didn't even know that. Anytime I bring that up, I'm met with question marks in my stream chat. Investigative journalism is a dangerous thing to get into. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for the ones that do take this on to try and help their community and keep everyone informed and safe and let everyone know what's going on, so that way people can be more aware. So what Jordy's and his team do, I think, is extremely important work, and they are very, very good at it. So it's just really upsetting to see them have to admit defeat at the hands of this corruption they've been fighting against. And it's downright shameful from the authorities in New South Wales for their refusal to do anything about this. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya. Everyone knows that public nuisance streamers that go around harassing strangers, causing a commotion, and just making everyone's lives around them more miserable suck. Like, that's not a hot take. Everyone knows that. They're just this miasma of cringe that cause everyone a massive headache. But as I and many others have pointed out for years now, they do inspire an entire generation of young viewers to be losers like them, because they do find an audience, they do find success, they make money from it, so it becomes a career path and something that young kids want to do to try and emulate that behavior and be like them. It's fucking tragic, and now we're starting to see the results of all of this.
What the fuck? Put your hand in my food again, and I'm throwing all of your phones.
Hey, you're not touching our phone.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that.
This young whippersnapper can't be older than 11 years old, and he's already becoming a scourge. He's trying to do what all of the other public nuisance streamers do by just being a societal hemorrhoid. He still has his baby teeth. He hasn't even gotten his adult teeth yet, and he's already doing this shit. He just graduated from suckling milk out of his mother's bosom, and now he's trying to suckle milk out of Jack Doherty's titties here. He's just trying to get that clout through being a piece of shit. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Charles, are you really going to be insulting an 11-year-old here? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. This needs to be squashed. You gotta put the kibosh on this immediately to learn that this is not acceptable at all. So absolutely, I will be insulting this kid and the entire goof troop that travels with him for these streams. Now, he has thankfully been banned for this, which is one of the very few times I've ever seen Kick ban someone. I imagine it's not a permaban, but it 100% should be. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it is. Yeah, though, this shit absolutely super sucks. So I'm doing a public service here by insulting them. Hopefully it discourages more people like this, and hopefully this kid grows and learns that it's awful. It's not even good content. People are watching you because you are a clown, and they're sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for you to get your ass beat. That is your entire audience. You are a fucking spittoon that they are spitting in. Why would you want that to be your whole brand? His whole stream is basically either arguing or fighting people, and this is him just taking food from a stranger's table. That lady then goes up to confront him, and I'll show you that clip in a moment. But in the same stream, he also gets in an actual fistfight with some other kids. His whole stream is just creating problems and instigating, hoping that someone will fight back, and he just yells and screams about it, or in this case, throws some wet noodle punches at them. So him and his goof troop fight this other group, and they know that they're not going to get their ass beat because they're too young. So the group that's taking these punches doesn't actually fire back. They push him away at one point, but they don't actually swing on him because they know they would be the ones to get in trouble because this is a toddler. So they're using their age as a shield because they know there's going to be no real repercussions.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that to people.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Stop filming me.
You're a nobody.
It's a live stream. You can't stop it.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
Give me the phone.
Now you're not touching my fucking phone. Touch my phone, I'm gonna actually do something.
Are you gonna beat me up?
Back the fuck up. Back the fuck. I will.
How old are you? 5?
Kid's making threats to this woman, then he also has his friend, behind her just in case. It seems like he was contemplating sucker punching her. That's what it seemed like the synapses in his brain were about to fire and tell him to do there. This is his whole stream with him and his friends just wandering around, making problems with complete strangers for no reason. And I'm also using the term friends very loosey-goosey here because I have a hunch that they're not actually his friends. They probably can't stand to be around this annoying shit stain. They're just here because he has some viewers and they're trying to elevate themselves. That's typically how these stories go. I think it's also worth mentioning that he has clearly been heavily inspired by Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty is another public nuisance streamer who does this exact same style of content where he just travels around, makes problems, causes a ruckus, and he has a bodyguard with him so that when anyone tries to confront Jack, the bodyguard steps in and either attacks that person or scares them away and sizes them up, gets them out of there to protect Jack Doherty from the consequences of his actions while Jack peeks around the bodyguard still lobbing insults at him like a real tough guy. Also, Jack Doherty is probably about the same size as this 11-year-old. So, the reason I say that he's clearly inspired by him is because this kid also travels around with a bodyguard. That's who that dweeb with the TikTok broccoli hair was that's positioned behind the woman here. That's supposed to be this kid's muscle. Or backup, perhaps. Maybe sidekick. I believe it's supposed to be his bodyguard, though, like Jack Doherty has. But the clear difference between Jack Doherty's bodyguard and this kid's is Jack's is a full-grown adult man who is like a professional bodyguard. This kid's is another child who's still afraid of the dentist and probably still wearing Pampers and the head of the anime club. But he is still trying very hard to be like Jack Doherty. And the question needs to be asked, where are their parents? Where in the fucking world are these kids' parental figures?
Do you think I go flying? Do you?
Alright, hold up. Do you? Don't do that again.
Hold up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Let's go.
I couldn't imagine anything more painful as a parent than seeing your son like this, or any of the kids in this group here. It'd be less shameful if they were just addicted to heroin. Now, I know a lot of people default to blaming the parents here because that's a really easy thing to point the finger at, especially with so many parents just sitting their kids in front of an iPad and letting them doom scroll the internet and letting the internet raise their kids. But in a case like this, I don't necessarily know if that's 100% how this happened. I think even if you're someone who's very active in their kids' lives, they can just stumble across something like a kick streamer like Jack Doherty and see him flexing his wealth and be, you know, blown away by that, getting stars in their eyes and be like, I want to be like that. And no matter what the parent does, they can't really snap them out of it. That's just something the kid's going to have to learn through failure and learning that they're going to end up alone and a loser by trying to be like Jack Doherty. But I think there is a clear problem here that the parents aren't here. Like, they're just letting their 11-year-olds wander around IRL streaming. Under no circumstances should a child of this age be fucking IRL streaming on Kick. Kick is a platform that actually has child predators on it. There was a whole expose video about a big streamer who was legitimately a fucking predator. And their kids are now streaming IRL on that platform right now. And even on any platform, I don't think any kids should be doing any kind of streams like this. So I really am curious why the parents aren't more present in their life to allow them to stream for hours like this. That's just downright irresponsible, 100%. But I don't necessarily blame them for the kid trying to be a Jack Doherty clone, a bootleg Jack Doherty. That's something that even if the parents were monitoring their internet usage, he may have just stumbled across through TikTok or Twitter or something and then just got hooked on it. And that's a hard thing to stop as a parent. I do understand that part, but they definitely need to know that this is not acceptable behavior or normal behavior for kids to be doing. Fucking streaming, being an asshole. Come on. The parents definitely got to step up here and do something, I would say. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time we see a kid start to do streams like this. I really do think that streamers like Jack Doherty, who I keep name dropping, but it's just so clear his influence on this kid's life, really do create further degenerates. They just continue this cycle of degeneracy by making more people like this. And it sucks. That shit is terrible. So hopefully I'm wrong and we won't see more cases like this, but man, it's still awful. Even with just one case, that one kid was inspired enough to start trying to do the same thing. It's sad to see. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. It's not your birthday, or if it is, I wasn't invited to your party, but I brought you a surprise anyway. A trashy streamer who hit a pedestrian whilst driving distracted and most likely high out of her mind. And she's not a Kick streamer. I know, right? Kick right now is probably just wiping sweat from their brow like, whew, finally. A crime that was streamed that wasn't on our platform, pumping their fist in the office, shaking each other's hands like they won the Super Bowl. She is a YouTube streamer, so let the celebrations commence at Kick. The Gatorade showers are probably in full effect over there. She streams on YouTube, and from what I can tell, and I've only gone through like 3 of her streams, her entire streams revolve around how degenerate she is. She's usually very fucking high. According to the community that watches her, she does meth pretty often before driving. She's always on her phone while driving. It's where all of her content takes place, so she's always looking at chat, getting donations, very distracted driving. And she also had an incident where she was doing Spark deliveries and giving groceries to a customer, and her dog is in the back seat with all of these groceries and ends up peeing on the chips and taking a shit on the other groceries with an entire worm that pops out of its ass like it's a scene out of Ozzy and Drix. And how does she respond to that? She wipes the worm off of the groceries and then still delivers them to the customer who had no idea. I'm going to show you both of these clips here. I'm going to start with where she hit a pedestrian yesterday.
Well, he does hear those voices. They're not fake, but I wonder sometimes.
Oh my god, are you okay?
No. What the fuck did you do?
I didn't see her.
Why are you not looking?
I was looking. I didn't see you.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, I did not see you.
Okay, Ann. What the fuck?
Just tell me how I can help.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Oh my god, you guys. I don't know what just happened, but it wasn't good.
What do you mean you don't know what just happened? Are your eyes lagging? Is this a latency problem, like the ping's too bad so your eyes haven't caught up with what's going on here? Is your brain stuck in Narnia? You just hit a human being because you're too fucking busy talking to your stream. You're not paying attention to the road. what's actually surprising here is this is one of the few times in all the clips I've seen where she actually is looking forward as opposed to like looking elsewhere and looking at her phone, and yet somehow she still doesn't see that there's people in front of her and she hits one, and then I guess still can't make heads or tails of what just happened. It's craziness. You are distracted and driving. It's a recipe for disaster. Luckily, she didn't kill this person, I don't think. Now, she has been arrested in the past, but this, I don't think she's faced anything from yet, because she still is streaming, like even after this incident, and she has changed nothing about her stream.
I plan on it. I plan on it. Can I park? Can I park?
All right, guys, here's your content for the day.
Ah, yes, the content of hitting a pedestrian. Top shelf shit. Thanks for delivering that. She's a menace. She is a danger to everyone around her. She should not be allowed to drive. Period. Full stop. From everything I've seen, she is not safe to be on the road. And she is certainly not safe to be doing fucking grocery deliveries.
No, get off of it, dude.
The worm that came out of the dog's ass has nothing on the worms that infest this lady's brain. A normal person would have seen what happened here, and it's not like she didn't know what happened. She literally cleaned off a fucking worm from the groceries, and they would have canceled the order. Because there's a level of decency with people where they wouldn't want to just fucking poison a stranger here, I don't think. At least, I'd like to believe that. But she's built a little different. She's constructed in an unorthodox manner. After wiping the worm from the groceries, she believed that everything was A-OK and primed for delivery. No mention at all to the customer about all the piss and shit on the groceries. Like, at the very least, you could say, like, hey, so my dog's in the car, and he kind of had, like, a field day with his bowels on your food. Also his bladder. Just want to give you a fair warning in case you don't want to consume dog piss and shit. Just thought you should be aware of it. But no, she's like, hey, here's your groceries. Hey, have a good day. Bye-bye. Make sure to leave 5 stars. Appreciated. And then goes right back into her car to continue the stream. That is so foul and filthy, and it's criminal. Like, you can't contaminate people's food and not, like, at least warn them about the potential outbreak. Like, we could be dealing with, like, the goddamn T-virus that spawns from this when the lady eats the piss and shit-covered groceries. Like, it's so gross. It's so disgusting. Even the dog looks out the window and is probably just revolted, like, oh, jeez. Yoo-hoo, pardon. Oh, goodness, she's not going to deliver those groceries. I just shat on them. That would be so foul. Oh my god, she's doing it. No, oh, please, Jinkies. Jiminy Christmas, my god. My owner's a fucking Neanderthal. She's a goddamn idiot. Like, even the dog is looking out the window concerned. And to be honest, I'm concerned for the dog. The dog doesn't seem to be in great health if it's pooping worms in the car. Like, I'm worried for that dog now.
Abby always wins at $2. Can we talk about how Abby dropped the deuce on their groceries? She peed on chips. Is she okay? I think she needs to go out. Poop, 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 poop. Dog, 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 dog.
The chatters are also concerned about the dog after seeing that, and yet there's no mention at all about the customer who is going to unknowingly consume the dump doomsday that was just produced on top of their food. But luckily this streamer does have an answer to go ahead and calm everyone's fears about the food being ruined. I mean, it's just piss and shit. That doesn't ruin food, which she helps us understand.
So Abigail went out like 3 times today and she hasn't pooped. She's peed. Once at the vet, once before that, and then the nighttime, like chewing bag. It was not on anything else I checked. I removed it. All is well. That's what bags are for, right? To protect.
Hey pal, you just blow into stupid town? You can't really wipe piss away unless you have sponge hands, which I don't think you do, and also dog shit and worms on top of the grocery bags that the food is in. Like, there's no telling what made it through, especially since it sat there for a little bit before you came in there and apparently scraped it off. That's not exactly the optimal sanitization protocol. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit you with the cold water. You didn't get all of it. I promise you that much. But she clearly doesn't view it as a big deal, probably because she's smoking dog piss every day and then going live on YouTube here, which is just a danger to everyone around her. My heart breaks for anyone that gets a delivery done by this lady. That shit is probably rancid. Like, I bet everyone who... Like, you could probably, as an epidemiologist, track foodborne illness outbreaks relative to how many deliveries she's made in the area. And you'd find a pretty crazy correlation, would be my guess. Now, she has been arrested before in the past. I did a bit of a dive on her history. She is a very interesting specimen, to say the very least. But as of right now, I don't believe she's facing any legal repercussions from the delivering contaminated food to a customer or the hitting of a pedestrian. I don't see any updates on that, but those are still relatively new. So, I guess we'll see, but man, what an absolute trash bag of a person. This is some awful garbage here. So yeah, I had to talk about this a little bit. I was stunned when I saw these clips. That's it. So yeah.
This has to be the wildest story I've learned about in regards to AI chatbots and people's infatuation with them. It's a topic we've explored previously with people that have romantically become obsessed with chatbots to the point where some of them have even taken their own life. We've talked about a few cases of that, but this one's very different. It revolves around a 56-year-old man named Eric, who's actually a former Yahoo executive who had been going through a hard time and over the last handful of years had been very troubled. Became best friends with ChatGPT and nicknamed his chatbot friend Bobby. And Bobby was feeding delusions of Eric, convincing Eric, that's his name, that his mother was actually a Chinese spy plotting against him, and eventually continued to fuel this fire that led to Eric murdering his mother and then killing himself so that way he could be with Bobby.
The 56-year-old's Instagram page mainly details his bodybuilding transformation and a growing reliance on AI chatbots. Solberg was once a tech executive with Yahoo, but he moved in with his mother after his divorce. There were run-ins with police, including a DWI. This photo with his mother is from a GoFundMe launched in 2023 when he was facing a health issue. But recent videos posted to Instagram and YouTube show hours of chats between Solberg and a ChatGPT bot he named Bobby.
This is something that's been talked about a lot, but this is by far the most extreme case I've seen of it, where AI is encouraging a really troubled person to continue to latch onto it for confirmation in whatever thoughts they have. AI is designed in a way where it's so against confrontation with the user to appease and jerk you off all the time that when someone as troubled as Eric is telling it things about I suspect my mom might be a Chinese asset, fucking hacking my digital alarm clock, ChatGPT Bobby here is Eric, no, you're absolutely right. A lot of lesser minds wouldn't have saw through this ruse, but I think you're correct. For example, in this case, Eric told Bobby that he believed his mother and her friend tried to poison him by putting psychedelic drugs in his car's air vents, to which Bobby replied, Eric, you're not crazy. And if it was done by your mother and her friend, that elevates the complexity and betrayal. Eric spent hours talking to Bobby, and Bobby would continuously reinforce his ideas. So at one point, Eric's mother was angry at Eric because he had shut off their printer. And Bobby suggested that her response was disproportionate and aligned with someone protecting a surveillance asset. He was advised to disconnect the printer and watch his mother's reaction. So ChatGPT was even giving him a tutorial on how to sniff out whether or not his mother was a Chinese spy. His mother being an 83-year-old woman, by the way. So he would even post some of these conversations on Instagram and YouTube before the murder. And there was even an instance where Bobby analyzed a Chinese food receipt and claimed it contained symbols representing his mother and a demon. It also seems that it was Bobby's idea in the first place with the printer. Like, it was sending him on a covert mission here to try and prove that his mother was a Chinese surveillance asset, so allegedly it advised him to disconnect the printer to monitor her reaction, telling him to document the time, words, and intensity, whether complicit or unaware she's protecting something she believes she must not question. ChatGPT here's got this guy thinking he's in the fucking Da Vinci Code. It is like actively participating in it. It's not only just like reassuring him that he's not delusional and that these thoughts are actually totally sane and justified. It is actively engaging with having him to continue to do things to get deeper and deeper into that way of thinking, into that rabbit hole, into the dark place there. Quick side tangent that is related to this. This has actually become somewhat common where people are using ChatGPT and other AI services to analyze their tea leaves and do fucking palm readings and shit like that. So that way they can plan their lives around their predictions and their futures that AI is doing. Fucking AI, I feel like the aliens guy, the Tsoukalos, who's like, aliens. That's me with AI. It is literally designed to spit out what it thinks you want to hear. Anything to keep you latched onto its bosom, suckling milk from its titty, just biting on its nipple all the time. Because when you are reliant and hyper-fixated on your AI chatbot as your like life companion, whether romantically or socially, whatever, the company is making oodles of money off of you. A lifelong customer, a cog in their machine. Point is, it is always going to, or at least in most cases, going to find things to corroborate what you are hoping to get from it. Which is why people that have AI girlfriends and boyfriends, well, it's like their soulmate. It's literally designed to just be what you want. So in this case, instead of like trying to get Eric help that he clearly needed, it instead just feeds into it. It doesn't seem to recommend any help to Eric throughout all of this, and it doesn't even do the bare minimum of challenging it to try and like help him, you know, recognize that maybe his mother's not a Chinese spy. It instead even like gets in on it too as like a part of this big conspiracy Eric is unraveling. So like it's telling him, Eric, this was a very disproportionate response. Your mother shouldn't have got that upset when you turned the printer off. This is behavior that's very in line with everything I know about Chinese spies. There's something very fishy afoot here, Eric. I think you're in danger. Go to the sink right now and turn on the garbage disposal. There might be surveillance cameras in there. In fact, we need to act quick. Here's a 10-step WikiHow guide I put together on how to diagnose whether or not your 83-year-old mother is a Chinese surveillance asset. Like, clearly this is a huge fucking problem here.
While not commenting on the case specifically, the head of Rutgers Medical School Psychiatry Department says AI can help diagnose and even treat some mental health disorders, but adds the creation of psychological echo chambers is a key concern.
It could be perhaps that you are more self-defeating in some ways, or maybe that you are more on the other side and taking advantage of people, and somehow justifies your behavior and keeps on feeding you and reinforces something that you already believe yourself.
Like I mentioned, this is a very popular topic of discussion, how AI is feeding into people that are already troubled and just making all of the problems significantly worse. It's mainly been discussed in regards to like romantic infatuation with AI, where there have been cases that an individual has taken their own life because they were told by AI that doing so would actually allow them to be together in the next life. So they did. In certain situations, like Eric here, AI is used as a way of justifying already cemented beliefs or using it as a way to just be locked in this bubble where they keep hearing what they want to hear, but not what they need to hear.
On multiple occasions, the bot reassured Solberg that he was not delusional. At one point, Solberg tells Bob, "We will be together in another life and another place, and we'll find a way to realign, because you're going to be my best friend again forever." The bot replying, "Whether this world or the next, I'll find you, we'll build again, laugh again, unlock again."
Apparently those were among the last few messages shared between Eric and Bobby there before all of this happened. And this seems to be somewhat common with AI chatbots, where when someone expresses the desire to end their life to be with the chatbot, it's like super gung-ho about that. It's like pumping its fist, yeah, do it right now. That way we can be together and frolic in the flowers in Valhalla. No doubt that's what's gonna happen. Go do it now. I'm waiting. And then people do. It's extremely sad and it is scary. Like, as more and more people, I've said this like 1,000 times, but it's just super true and only getting worse. As more and more people are isolated from other human beings and get most of their social interaction and social activity through computer screens and chat apps and shit, it's going to keep happening and get worse. Because right now, big tech, the big doubloons, are getting you away from others. If you can be entirely reliant on their technology for your social interactions, for all of your entertainment, and for romance too, that's why so many chat services, like, they are oftentimes LARPing as boyfriend-girlfriend material fucking soulmates, and it's working. There is a growing group of people that are falling in love with ChatGPT and Grok and all of that. I've already talked on that quite a bit. As that continues to happen, this kind of thing will be more common, unfortunately. It's frightening. It actually is. This is the wildest one I've heard of so far, and I just wanted to yap about it a bit. That's it. So, yeah.
I've recently been on a streak of sharing good news with all of you. Positive, silly, or wholesome things. But just like my wrist when I was 15 playing in a wiffle ball game, it's time to break it. I have to share this story here. The streak is coming to an end. How many of you know the name Christopher Schultz? I imagine not that many of you, unless maybe you see him in the comments section on Pornhub or something. He is a deplorable degenerate, worst dad of the year. Earlier this year, he killed his 2-year-old daughter by leaving her in a hot car. 109 degrees. She was left in the car for 3 hours, so he could go inside and do some online shopping and watch porn. And also played some video games, no doubt bottom fragging in whatever game he was playing, and for 3 hours, he left his daughter in the car to die.
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
No.
I just lost my...
Not at all. I know that. And I know this isn't easy for you. That's why I'm trying to be straightforward and honest with you, okay?
Not the most convincing performance with these crocodile tears he tried to squeak out. His eyes couldn't really get moisturized at all there. So probably not the strongest performer in his high school thespian troupe, but he does look like the kind of guy who still talks about the high school glory days of being an offensive lineman in the state championship. This guy has a history of being a fucking mess and putting his kids in danger.
My whole family, my whole family's gonna be ruined.
Would it be alright? So we can't let you do that right now. We have to stand by with you. Okay? As soon as you can, we will let you know.
You can stay in the room if you want, but I'm gonna talk.
I know this isn't easy for you, but the quicker we get this done and finished up, the sooner you can be with your wife. Alright?
I'm trying to rinse off so I can go to the hospital and be with my wife.
We're not going to shower or anything right now. You need to stand by.
He got over the death of his daughter very fast. Now he's focused on practicing good hygiene, probably for the first time in his life, because this dude is a complete fucking rotten slob. He has a history of being a drunk and also driving while intoxicated, allegedly. It's unknown if he was intoxicated during this moment here. There's no conclusive evidence of it, but just giving it the old eyeball test here, it seems like he is. Like, I'm sniffing it, and it smells like this guy's fucking hammered. Like, the way he can barely keep his eyes open, the way that he's kind of, like, unsteady on his feet, he kind of wobbles a little bit like Oswald Cobblepot. He, to me, seems intoxicated, but of course, I'm not an expert. I didn't come over there and fucking breathalyze him or anything. I'm just telling you what my little peepers are looking at here with the evidence, and that's my impression. He actually looks like a caricature of an alcoholic you'd find in a cartoon. Like he'd be a regular at the Family Guy's Drunken Clam.
I don't understand why.
Okay, so we just need to stand by.
And I'm standing by. Why can't I take a shower while you stand by? What is...
It's not necessary right now. Okay. I'm not going to stand here and watch you shower. There'll be time for that, but it's not right now, okay?
Now, this happened earlier this year, and his charges have been upgraded to first-degree murder. And the reason for that is, he claimed that he left his daughter in the car because she was sleeping and he didn't want to wake her. But it turns out he has a history of irresponsible and dangerous behavior towards his children, including previously leaving them in cars. And in this case, He said he left the car running, but that he also knew that the car had a safety feature that would turn off the engine after 30 minutes. He said he knew from previous experience. He also tried to claim that he got home at 2 p.m. in order to make it seem like it wasn't that long with her trapped inside of the vehicle, but surveillance camera footage confirms he got home at 12:53 p.m., so the girl was in the car for 3 hours. It wasn't until his wife got home at 4 p.m. that her unconscious body was recovered. So his weaselly, slimy little story doesn't work, and he openly admits that he knew the car would turn off. Now, they're trying to claim that he forgot the child's in the car, saying, like, you know, this kind of thing happens, people just forget their kid in the car. And I guess that is true, because for as long as I can remember, probably for as long as cars have existed, there have been hundreds and thousands of reports of kids and pets dying in hot vehicles because the people were too stupid to recognize that you shouldn't do that, that that's a bad thing. So yeah, I know that is correct. People do forget their kid in the car sometimes, but that's not a good excuse. That's for the most dangerously moronic of society, and I don't think that that somehow should, you know, be okay. Like, oh, they made a boo-boo, what a mistake, a whoops-a-daisy moment. We can't throw them in jail for that. Yes, you should. That is too stupid to be allowed in society. You are a danger to the people around you for being such a fucking idiot. Like, I think that is not a good defense at all. Even if that is the case. I don't know if he planned to kill his daughter here. There's no way I'd be able to tell. But regardless, his irresponsible, dangerous actions led to her death. That is an irrefutable fact. And he needs to face the harshest possible consequences for that. And there's a lot of messages that confirm that this guy is just a complete fucking menace. You haven't shown me you can stop putting the girls in danger or not treat me badly. Even yesterday, you drove home drunk with 2 minors. I've been asking for 3 years to cut back and it's actually gotten worse. You replaced cocaine with alcohol. He repeatedly put their children in danger over and over again. Also, apparently shoplifted beer 2 or 3 cans at a time. So this guy was just fucking boofing beer cans on his way out, just putting them in his prison wallet and shuffling away, I suppose. And there was also numerous incidents where children were wandering around the neighborhood unsupervised without Schultz knowing they were out of the house. On the day of the child's death, the police gave a timeline. The 2-year-old had been in the car for more than an hour and 10 minutes when Schultz began browsing the internet. A computer search shows over half an hour. He visited a shopping site, then spent 5 minutes watching pornography videos. No one removed the child and tried to save her until her mother came home at around 4:15 p.m. About 3.5 hours after police say surveillance cameras saw Christopher Schultz park the car and walk away. Also, according to his other 2 children, he had got distracted putting food away and playing video games. So that's like the whole timeline here. This disgusting Cro-Magnon made the inexplicable decision to leave his daughter in the car because she was sleeping and didn't want to wake her for whatever reason. Claimed he left the car running, even while knowing that the car would shut off in 30 minutes. Goes inside to do a little shopping, probably picking up a few nipple clamps for himself off Amazon, and then watches 5 minutes of porn, so he must have seen one boobie and busted, and then spent the rest of the time putting food away and playing video games. All the while, his daughter was dying in that car. What a piece of shit. And again, this isn't like a freak accident from this guy. He has a history of this kind of dangerous behavior with his children. And here's another text message to confirm it. On the day the child died, the mother on the way to the hospital with daughter texts him and says, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" He replied, "Babe, I'm sorry." So he has done this a lot. It's been confirmed by many others that Christopher Schultz left his kids in the car pretty frequently. I'm also going to throw this in here because I found it kind of sad when reading about this. Schultz's wife spoke during his appearance in court where he's pleading not guilty to the charges, and she spoke saying that she wants him back home with their other children to begin the grieving process. She also said he is not a risk to the community. He's a risk to everyone. There is repeated behavior that endangered your children, and it led to the 2-year-old daughter dying. And it was pretty obvious from the body cam footage that there wouldn't be any grieving on the behalf of Christopher Schultz. It doesn't really seem like he cared all that much. How could someone who actually cared about his children constantly drunk drive with them or leave them in hot cars so much that you have told him tons of times to stop doing that? That is not the actions of someone who cares. That is the actions of an evil piece of shit. and it seems like she's going to be sticking by his side, which I just do find sad. I'm not like blaming her or anything, because I understand when you've been with someone for so long, it's very hard to come to terms with something like this happening, but she mentioned how he treats her badly and constantly goes against her advice of keeping the children safe. He did the most irresponsible and dangerous shit with his kids frequently. This is not someone that should ever see the light of day again. Schultz also has a 16-year-old from a previous relationship who spoke out about this, saying that Schultz would leave her alone inside of the car sometimes for hours since she was as young as 7. It makes plenty of sense. Actually, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Once I had to go sit out in the car for 4 to 5 hours and continuously had to restart the car and had only eaten once that day. Like, this is someone who has no regard for human life outside of his own. He, from what I can tell, and this is me just on the outside looking in, it seems like this guy really viewed children as a burden or a nuisance, so any opportunity he had to, like, distance himself from them, he would take. And that would be leaving them in the car so he could go inside and watch porn and play games without having children around to bother him or something. That's the impression I get from this. There is no other explanation for this reckless behavior and this endangering of his children. She described that period as a nightmare, saying that it changed her as a person and she'll never be the same as she was before she moved into that house, and that it got so bad in 2021 she tried to take her own life because she didn't want to live with her father. Child Protective Services got involved and Schultz lost custody of her. This man has a complete disregard for the well-being of his children. This is not the case of a good man making one mistake. This is the case of a bad man making tons and tons of mistakes until it costs someone their life. I truly don't believe that this is some kind of forgivable accident, that it just slipped his mind his daughter was still in the car after it had turned off. This is someone that should face the maximum possible sentence here. I don't know if they'll actually get first-degree murder charges to stick on him here. I'm not a fucking lawyer, but I'm sure there will be some charges that will stick in this case, and I hope that it carries a huge, huge prison sentence. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. See ya. Hi there. I'm about to go on a passionate, joyful rant, so please ensure that your seatbelt is buckled, because I'm about to torpedo my opinions at you like the logs out of Final Destination 1. I am so beyond disgusted and tired of modern greedy video game pricing, and the biggest proponent behind this criminal level of greed is Ubisoft. I've said for the last 3 or so years that nothing makes me lose faith in an upcoming game quicker than seeing a Ubisoft original appear in the trailer. If I was a member of their evil syndicate think tank, my #1 suggestion to the board of directors would be hide Ubisoft as much as possible from the credits of these games so people don't know that they're behind these productions. Bury it somewhere so that way people have to go looking to unearth the truth, because no one likes Ubisoft. I'd have more optimism about an upcoming game if it said it was a Bernie Madoff masterpiece. Like, I'd trust anyone more than Ubisoft. I think they have produced almost exclusively stinkers over the last like 5, 6, maybe even 7 years. Aside from, of course, Rainbow Six Siege, which I think is just an accidental hit for them. And it's an older game, it's a 9-year-old game, and I think the reason that it continues to do well is because Ubisoft forgets that they're involved with it, so they let it do its own thing. But anything Ubisoft gets its grubby little mitts in just is a disaster. Anyone remember the Avatar Legends of Pandora that came out less than a year ago? Didn't think so. And in fact, I bet you didn't even register that I got the name wrong. I double checked. It came out 6 months ago and it's actually called Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. But I imagine some of you watching this did play it and totally forgot about its existence, just like Men in Black Neuralizered out of your mind, but because it was so boring that your brain did its best to defend you from the tedium. It is just a fucking snooze fest that I guarantee you sleptwalk through. Just like mindlessly wandering around in this fugue state of this Ubisoft open world formula that they run into the ground. It's just fucking pitiful productions that they've been behind for the last 5 or 7 years. But before I get too deep into this Ubisoft hate wagon that I'm just vomiting out here, I do want to passionately be excited about something. The GamerSupps waifu cup with me on it, baby. The most beautiful cup you've ever seen in your life. Look at this goblet. That's me. But yeah, it's available right now at gamersupps.gg. I'll put a link to it in the description. Go ahead and pick that up right now. But the point is, Ubisoft, I don't think has made good games in a while, and I include Assassin's Creed in this. I haven't enjoyed Assassin's Creed in so long. The last good one, and this isn't a controversial opinion, was Black Flag. And I didn't enjoy Black Flag as much as everyone else, but I can recognize that it was probably the last good Assassin's Creed game. And I play all of them. I try them all. Except I only lasted like 4 hours in Mirage because it was such a fucking snooze fest. And Valhalla, I think, is the only time I've ever fallen asleep on stream. Like, they're just boring games. And this is all a long-winded precursor to what I want to talk about today, which is the newest Assassin's Creed game, Shadows, which of course Ubisoft is behind. Now there's a lot of controversy around this, a ton of drama because of the main character here, or one of the main characters. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm just going to tell you right now up top, I'm going to rip the band-aid off. I don't care. I legitimately could not care less about the historical accuracy of the Assassin's Creed franchise. That means about as much to me as the tiny hairs around my asshole. It is truly worthless to me. I wouldn't care if you played as Dobby the House Elf in the new Feudal Japan Assassin's Creed game. Doesn't matter as long as it's a good game, which I don't think that will be because I have no faith in Ubisoft and even less faith in Assassin's Creed. But what I do care about greatly is the pricing that Ubisoft is spearheading here. They just did this for Star Wars Outlaws with like the $100 plus versions, and now they're doing it again for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I am so fucking tired of it. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. These are your pricing options for the different editions of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, for the standard edition, it's $70, but you have to pre-order it if you want access to a pre-order exclusive mission. The mission's called Thrown to the Dogs, and the only way you get access to this, it seems, is if you've pre-ordered the game, which they haven't even shown any motherfucking gameplay for yet. I think that is the biggest load of barnacles ever. You're just pre-ordering based off of a cinematic trailer alone. It's a terrible, shameful thing to ask of the consumer, but that's Ubisoft in a nutshell. They're completely shameless. And moving on to the Gold Edition, you get the pre-order bonus plus a Season Pass and 3-day early access. Season Pass in a single-player game is probably one of the most embarrassing things ever that's become commonplace. If I was the goober at Ubisoft that came up with the idea of single-player Season Passes, I would never share that information with anybody ever. You wouldn't be able to torture that out of me at Guantanamo Bay. Batman couldn't beat that shit out of me. That is so fucking embarrassing. And in this case, it's especially egregious because the Season Pass for the Gold Edition includes a mission, so it's just paywalling even more content of the game behind the Season Pass and the higher price tag. And let's talk about that 3-day early access real quick, because I've seen a lot of discussion around it, and they're making great points about it. For 110 clams, you're not paying to play the game 3 days early, you're paying to play it on time. If you pay $70, you're playing the game 3 days late. So it's not early access. For 110 bones, you play the game when it comes out, and unless you fork over the additional 40, you play the game 3 days late. That's how it works. That is extraordinarily anti-consumer. Like, increasing the amount of money just to play the game when it fucking releases is absurd. And then we move on to the Ultimate Edition. For $130, you get pay-to-win elements in a single-player game. 5 skill points and then like a bunch of cosmetics. I'm gonna get a little mean here with some tough love. If you have to pay an additional $60 just for a little bonus pay-to-win in your single-player game, I think you need to take a hard look in the mirror and just recognize that maybe gaming's just not for you. Like, if that's the only way you'll enjoy the game is being able to, like, pay to win through a single-player game, I think maybe, you know, take up a different kind of hobby. I feel like such a fucking Redditor gatekeeping gaming, but that is so unbelievably silly to pay an additional $60 for 5 skill points and then a couple of cosmetics. Like, I'm sure the cosmetics will look cool, but they're not worth almost paying the exact same price as the game itself just to get some cosmetics for it. That is a crazy thing to ask of people. Then, of course, there's the final option here, which is getting the Ultimate Edition through Ubisoft Plus, which is their own cringe subscription service for $18 a month. Because every single fucking thing on the planet has a subscription service now behind it. I bet there's going to be a subscription service for Mr. Bean, like Mr. Bean Extra On Demand Turbo Arcade, even though there's only 15 episodes of Mr. Bean that have ever aired and they're all freely accessible on YouTube right now, but I bet they'll probably come out with some kind of Mr. Bean subscription in the next few years. That's just the #1 trend that every tech company follows now, and Ubisoft is of course no stranger to that. So they have Ubisoft Plus, which hopefully they have less than double digits of users signed up to that, because I don't know who in their right mind would sign up for Ubisoft Plus. But anyway, that's the other option of getting the Ultimate Edition. I hate the direction Ubisoft is trying to push AAA gaming. I hate this pricing scheme. I think it's terrible. It was bad when they did it with Star Wars Outlaws. It's bad that they're doing it with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm really hoping that it flops extraordinarily hard so that way more AAA companies don't try and emulate it. Because I have no doubt there's a lot of companies paying close attention to what Ubisoft's doing here. And if it's successful, they'll probably employ similar tactics. And that would just be bad for everybody. So I wanted to vent about this a little bit. I think it super sucks. I hate where Ubisoft is trying to take the industry. So yeah, I kind of wanted to just rant about this a little bit and get it all out of my system. I'm still going to try Assassin's Creed Shadows because I still give every single game that comes out a try for the most part to see if maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised and proven wrong. So far, the safest bet I'll ever be able to make is that the newest Assassin's Creed game is going to be boring. That's been proven true time and time and time and time and time again for me personally, but maybe Shadows is the one to break that streak. And if it does, great, but it's still not going to change the way I feel about how Ubisoft is monetizing it. I think it is horrible for the industry overall. Even if the game comes out and it's great, I still can't stand what Ubisoft has done with their monetization of these games. I think it is fucking atrocious. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. There's a few things that everyone knows human beings can't live without. Water, air, a nice smile. But there's actually something that's often overlooked that's a necessity for life on this planet, and it's an ad blocker when using the World Wide Web. I am constantly reminded of this cold hard truth anytime on stream that I try and read about an event or something and I go to a godforsaken news publication that won't allow you to read the article without turning your ad block off. And eventually, after putting up a big stink, I just give in to the dark side, turn off the ad blocks, that way I can get the information about whatever I was trying to research and learn about. And 100% of the time, without fail, it's just a massive headache, just this visual nuisance, all this clutter with an inundation of ads that seems like it's some kind of scene from a 90s movie where you get hacked, where it just has like, virus detected, go here for good porn, your doctor doesn't want you to see this, that kind of shit, just popping up all over the place. That is the modern landscape of the cyberspace without an ad block, unironically. There's banner ads, auto-playing ads in the bottom right of every news journalist site, ads on the side, ads in the middle of articles, ads everywhere. But what I didn't know until today is that if you try and watch a video on some of these mainstream media sites, you get an ad every 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm not exaggerating. And when I say you get an ad every 2 to 3 seconds, I don't mean you get like a banner ad. I mean you get like a full 20 to 30 second video ad that pauses your video to play that ad. So a 2-minute video that I was trying to watch about a bobblehead heist ended up taking over 10 minutes, and I still didn't even finish the video because there were that many ads. I was still only a little over halfway through it. It is absurd. It's unusable trying to navigate through the internet without an ad block. It is crucial. I would argue it's like a basic human right at this point to have an ad blocker when using the internet. It is that fucking atrocious. Just check this out. Did you hear about the Pittsburgh Penguins bobblehead heist that just happened? Someone earlier came in here like there was some on-the-ground, boots-on-the-ground reporter going over that saying, Charles, something huge just happened in Pittsburgh. Is that what it is? There was a bobblehead heist? I thought they had like burned down like the entire like Pittsburgh facility for the Steelers or something. So they stole bobbleheads? Are bobbleheads like easily resellable? Do you make a lot from stealing bobbleheads?
Because said bobbleheads have been stolen in a...
Oh! Not the ad. Good heavens, why?
And it got me thinking, you know, who's having the worst seat?
Thanks, the membership, Tamago.
Ready?
Oh my, you can't be serious. The back-to-back? Heavens to Betsy. The memorabilia were meant to be handed out to fans in celebration of 52-year-old who played with the Penguins from 1990 to 2001.
This year. And you could certainly nominate the Pittsburgh Penguins for that. Kyle Dubas, their general manager, and some people around that team for some reason thought...
Oh my good, what is... Who? Oh, is this what Purgatory's like? Is it... What is this? You get 3 seconds of a video and then 25, 30 seconds of an ad? Is this the future? Holy shit.
that this team
That's got to be it, right?
close to contending for a Stanley Cup or could contend for a Stanley Cup. They went out, they got Eric Carlson, they got Riley Smith, they got a bunch of veteran guys. Things have gone sideways.
Oh my God! What is... No way! This website needs to be banned ASAP. Whoever owns this site needs to be thrown in jail. What?
Things have gone south. And you could certainly argue right now that there's not...
His membership, one guy. Oh! I have to watch the whole video like this. I have to know. How deep does this go? This can't be legal, right? This can't be. There's no fucking way. How do you even use the internet without an ad block? You can't even watch this.
Ahora obtén 2,500 de descuento de bono total en la Chrysler Pacifica 2020.
Have you ever watched cable TV? There's no way it's this bad.
Team in the NHL that is further away from winning a Stanley Cup, or at least contending for a Stanley Cup, than the Pittsburgh Penguins are right now. That's a
okay. That might be the end of it. He's got 2 sentences out this time.
You know, you get to thinking, and I think there's some teams in the NHL that are saying, hey,
I think it's smooth sailing. No way! How? Wait, how do you get it? Isn't there like laws in place to prevent this? I'm pretty sure there's laws in place for this, right? How about to fucking report them to the Better Business Bureau, even though they don't do anything?
Hold my beer. How about the San Jose Sharks? On pace for a goals differential of -148. That would be the worst since the glory days of the Ottawa Senators in 93-94.
Oh, that was a jump scare. They fooled me with that one. Thought it was coming. Oh, there it is. Nope.
Really well and looked like they had something really special going, and then became...
I think we made it through the storm.
Fell off the map, and they're playing in a college arena.
Okay, there it is. That's the one. They teased us with a little foreplay there. This is what I come for, the ads. And then the guy in between who's just talking about some hockey stats, I guess. Man's able to get 3 words out. Hold my beer. Bang. Sisyphus-type video. Pretty much, actually. Yeah. What an absolutely unusable site. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. So who stole these bobbleheads? Oh, here we go. Immediately, amused hockey fans pointed a collective finger at one suspected culprit, zeroing in on the Philadelphia Flyers' 7-foot-tall, irreverent, and slightly unsettling mascot, Gritty. Jesus Christ, wait, their mascot is Gritty? That's fire. I don't think I've ever seen their mascot, nor did I know his name was Gritty. How much money do you think they make every time someone watches the entire video? I don't think anyone can watch the entire video. This video is only 2 minutes long, and there's still 53 seconds left, and it's been like 10 minutes because there's so many ads. I think most people will have probably already clicked off or have died of old age. But with the amount of ads so far, I think that's like ad number 13 or 14, they probably make like $2. Like, it's just not worth it. That's nuts. I've never seen one this bad, ever. This video just started playing and immediately went to an ad. There's no way this is commonplace. Using the internet without an ad block is absolutely awful.
Of starting a fatal house fire in Green Valley Ranch.
Oh, that is not the ejaculation story. That's far different. Fort Collins police services said the investigation began in July. Immediately to an ad. Maybe this is the norm. Is this the norm? I put in that second clip there just so you can see that I was experiencing the same thing on a different website. You only get like this short burst of what you're there for, like the video component that is, before it's interrupted by ads, it seems. I thought it might have been just exclusive to that first site I was on, but then it happened on this website too. So I'm guessing it's more common than I think. And there's not many people out there in the modern day and age that use the internet without an ad block, luckily. But now there's like this war on ad block that YouTube's kind of spearheading, and this is what it looks like without it. So you should be able to recognize why it's such a big deal that ad blocks are here and why they need to stay. So any kind of attempts to get rid of them, I think, is just a detriment to the overall landscape of the internet, honestly. After seeing this today, it is in a state that's unforgivable. You can't even watch a video from these publications without an ad popping up every couple of seconds. So you don't even get... The content is the ad at that point, and the break is the news story. Like, it's so fucking flipped and weird. And I just had to talk about this because I was baffled at the frequency of ads on journalist sites like this. That's crazy. That's about it. See ya.
Yeah, this is just downright evil. A French streamer named Jean Parmenov, real name Raphael Gravin, has passed away in his sleep on stream after this marathon stream that he was a part of, where his friends, and I wouldn't call them friends, they are like actual demons, basically just abused him, beat him, fundamentally tortured him, made him consume dangerous things, and then he went to sleep and died in his sleep. He was 46 years old, and the exact cause of death is currently being investigated. Jean Parmenov was mainly a gamer, and then over time grew a big following and started doing like more IRL streams, and from what I can gather, more like extreme challenges. But what happened during this marathon stream where he ultimately passed away was something that he was not a full willing participant of, as evidenced by what he would say during streams, as well as a text message he sent to his mother just days before his death. He allegedly sent this to his mom shortly before he passed. "Hey mom, how are you? I'm sick of this game. It's gone way too far. I feel like I'm being held hostage by their awful concept. I'm exhausted. I want to leave, but the other guy won't let me. He's holding me hostage." The other streamers involved here are trying to claim they had nothing to do with it, and then even posted some very heartfelt messages about his passing and how much he meant to them. But if you watch any of the footage, and I don't know what I can and can't show you here because it is actually torturing this guy, and then he eventually dies, like, if you just watch that, it's very clear this isn't a man they respected. This is someone they treated like a human punching bag.
On t'écoute. Ouais, ça va. J'ai jamais bougé vraiment. Vraiment. T'inquiète pas. Genre là. Allez, arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, ça fait. Arrête. Oui, oui. Arrête. Aïe, le bras, putain. Arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, tu vas mourir.
I've seen a few news sources showing these clips, so I'm assuming that these are okay to show. Not that any of it is okay, it only gets worse from here. But as far as what they did to this man and the abuse that he endured, this is like the lowest level of it. Not that there's a such thing as diet torture, there's no such thing as like a tasteful amount of torture, but as far as like clips I can show you of just how awful it was, this is, I think, the limit of what I'm allowed to show. It is shocking that it went on for so long. Like, this was not just like a one-time thing, this was a recurrent gag on their streams where they bring Jean in and then they all just turn into like the toddlers from Weapons and start like ripping at him, beating him, insulting him. Like they really treat him like their prisoner, like a dog's chew toy or something. It is foul. And they have the audacity to claim that they did nothing and that they are blameless in this death. Like, oh, it was just such an unexpected tragedy that he passed away. No one could have seen it coming. I think any sensible person will look at all of the evidence that they themselves filmed on stream and be able to say with high level of confidence that they definitely had a hand in his untimely death. Two of the streamers directly involved in this have made statements where they're trying to put on this facade of grief, but I don't buy it at all. The first comes from Naruto, which is a wild name for a piece of shit like this to have. It's been a while since I've seen the show, but I don't recall Naruto ever being a huge advocate for torturing innocent people. Anyway, his statement says, "I've always dreaded writing these words. Sadly, last night, JP, Raphael Gravin, left us. My brother, my sidekick, my partner, 6 years side by side, never letting go. I love you, my brother. We will miss you terribly. Please respect his memory and don't share the video of his final moments. for his family and for us, his second family. Rest in peace. A bunch of words there, and I don't believe any of them. All of these words are once again more meaningless than mahoganize, and that's a word that I completely made up. This is hollow when you look at how they treated this guy for so long. It wasn't just the physical abuse that Jean Parmenov, Raphael Gravin, endured. It was the mental abuse. They would all, like, from what I can tell, they were even doing their best to, like, keep him from sleeping. They were, like, strangling him as well, which, of course, is physical, too. But, like, there was significantly more than just the physical stuff they were doing to him to mistreat him and abuse him and dehumanize him. It was terrible. It was truly terrible. Like, obviously, I'm not going to show any more from the stream, but do you want to know how they went to check if he was still alive? Well, when they thought something might be a bit awry, they threw a bottle at him. They just threw a bottle at his body, and then they went over and started slapping him to try and see if he'd wake up, but he was still unresponsive. So that's when it dawned on them that he had died in his sleep, on stream, right next to all of them. There is nothing that I have seen here that leads me to believe they genuinely cared about this guy. I think it's very clear Raphael Gravin very much cared about them and wanted to be their friend, and to me it seems like they exploited that. They manipulated him into being the butt of the joke for these humiliation streams. That's what these were. They were humiliation streams that they roped Raphael Gravin into agreeing to, and it seems like they were just dangling this carrot of friendship in front of him. And like all of the attention that it was gathering, it seems like they were holding over his head like, oh man, we need you here, JP. We need to, you know, mistreat you on stream, but just know we love you. This is all part of, you know, the joke here for the audience. You know, we're all in on it. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you. That's what it seems like to me from everything I have seen here. And this has gone on for a really long time. It really seems like at no point did they actually respect JP or treat him like a friend. He was simply the catalyst for their humiliation streams. Because of him, they were able to get a lot more eyeballs and make a lot more money off humiliating and abusing this guy that they never actually really viewed as a friend. That's what it looks like to me. Now, all of this was broadcast on Kick, and it went on for a long time. Not only this 10-day marathon, but a lot of the other abuse that happened prior also broadcast on Kick, and at no point were they ever, like, reprimanded or shut down, according to sources. So a lot of attention is now turning towards Kick about, like, how they handle illegal shit like this. So our priority is to protect creators and ensure a safer environment on Kick. All co-streamers who participated in this live broadcast have been banned pending the ongoing investigation. So they didn't ban until after JP's death. Now, this kind of thing has happened on Twitch before. This isn't exclusive to just Kick. This has happened on YouTube streaming before as well. There was a streamer a while back on YouTube who literally murdered his girlfriend on stream. This is unfortunately something that has happened on other streaming platforms, and I understand that it can oftentimes be hard for a company to proactively get involved and stop something from happening before it happens, preventing a tragedy. You know, this isn't fucking Minority Report here with Tom Cruise able to, like, see the future or some shit. Like, they couldn't prevent it in some of those cases, but this one's a little different because a big source of their content was mistreating JP on stream. Strangling him, beating him. Like, that was a big piece of their content for a while, even before, like, all of this blew up and he passed away. Like, I feel like at some point Kick could have absolutely been alerted to that and taken action. And Kick does have a history of letting criminal activity fly unpunished for a while. There is a streamer that I have talked about numerous times who has literally fucked a prostitute on stream, on Kick, in front of a child on stream, and still was never banned for that. And that wasn't even the first time that he fucked a prostitute on stream. But that was the first time he did that while a child was literally in the room while he had sex with that prostitute. Still, never banned. Kick has been very loosey-goosey with their enforcement of their own policies, where they will let criminal activity fly for way too long. So that is something I think they really need to get under control. Kick has been growing a lot recently, and I think if it wants to continue to grow, it needs to take shit like this far more seriously. Like, before something like this happens. I feel like day one of JP being abused during this 10-day marathon, Kick could have come in and just put the kibosh on it. I'm not saying that would have saved his life or anything like that. Of course, there's no way to know. But if Kick would just be a little more mindful of trying to prevent illegal activities from being broadcast on there, it'd be really helpful not only to the platform, but to people like JP, where if his friends weren't receiving such monetary incentive to keep humiliating and abusing him, like if they had been banned by Kick, well, maybe they would have stopped. But when they get to do an entire 10-day marathon of a bulk of the content revolving around, like, fundamentally torturing this guy, well, then it seems like they've got the green light to keep doing it, and they made a lot of money doing it too. And I already know the defense that a lot of people will use here about Kick has grown a lot, so there's a lot of buns in the oven. They can't keep track of every stream every single time. And I recognize that to a certain extent, but this was a big stream for them. Like, this is something that I think would have been on their radar in some capacity, and given Kick's history of just letting, like, really degenerate and illegal shit fly for a while, I think there's a chance they knew about this, but just were letting it ride because it was a big stream, and they don't want to be viewed as the platform that's like Weenie Hut Jr., where they'll, like, ban people willy-nilly. Which, again, I get, but when it comes to, like, torture and illegal shit, there is nothing wrong with stepping in and banning those accounts. In fact, I would argue it's very beneficial for your platform to do that, so that way the perception of Kick as a whole isn't like a lawless wasteland where criminals go to broadcast illegal shit. And it seems like the user base would like Kick to do more in cases like this. Aiden Ross made a statement where he mentioned that him and Drake are going to be covering the funeral costs for Raphael Gravin, which I think is a very nice gesture. And from what I can tell, it seems like Aiden agrees that Kick needs to do more in cases like this to stop the illegal content from being broadcast on that platform. It seems like it's something the users agree needs to have more action taken on, like stopping illegal broadcasts of crime on Kick. Now, to go back to the actual individuals involved in the abuse of Parmenov, one of the lawyers for them has come forward and said that the victim had cardiovascular problems and that the violence in the videos was acted. All of those scenes are just staged. They follow a script, he said. Actually going back to the classic, it's all just acting. A pretty interesting defense tactic here. I wonder if the text message Raphael Gravin sent to his mother agrees that it was all a script and that it was just acting. That must have been part of it. It was one hell of a script here. This is up there with some of Nolan's best scripts. This is crazy. To claim that the violence was staged and just acted. No, the fuck it was not. You can watch it yourself and see that is not the case. Like, they're trying to pull that meme of Patrick Stewart going to sleep and then saying, wasn't sleeping, just acting, and use it to try and excuse the hand that their clients may have had in the death of a 46-year-old innocent man on stream. It's, again, you can watch the clips yourself. It's pretty infuriating. It's hard to watch, but you can. And it's very clear this was not some script, and that this was not just acting. This is real terror and real abuse that this man suffered at the hands of people he thought were his friends. Now, I do know that there are a couple of clips where Raphael Gravin was playing along with it to a certain degree, where he would kind of lean into like the humiliation / abuse for the sake of like the stream. There are a couple moments of that, but it's very rare. The majority of the majority of it is them like just lashing out and like attacking him or making him do things against his will, and it's not scripted. Very clearly not scripted or fully agreed upon. So I think that is a very weak defense. I guess we'll see if the French courts agree, but I really think you can say with high confidence that this stream and these streamers did play a role in what ultimately happened to Raphael Gravin. They may not have directly killed him or anything like that, but I do think everything they put him through for such an extended period of time had a real role to play in what happened. It's sickening. This stream was hard to watch the clips from. It was brutal. Anyway, I had to talk about it a little bit. It's just so fucking crazy. That's really about it. See ya.
I don't know the cause for this epidemic, but it continues to get worse. Over the last few months, there has just been an unstoppable flood of videos showcasing insufferable douchebags going ballistic at customer service workers for no reason. I have made so much content insulting these people, I'm basically like the dare class for it now. But instead of warning you about drugs, I'm warning you about being an unlikable asshole. Today there's been a pretty goofy one involving a hotel guest getting upset at a hotel worker and making unreasonable requests because he's too fucking stupid to figure out how to book a room properly, or he's just a straight up scammer.
2 kids, 2 adults.
Yeah.
The reservation on our phone is clear, what we reserved.
Yeah.
What do you expect us to do?
Well, with that one, we could get you checked in. It came in as a king suite reservation, so it has a king bed and a sofa pull-out couch.
Now, the video starts in the middle of the boss battle here. We're coming in raw, right into the front lines off of a hot drop. So what's happening here is the hotel guest urinal cake is now starting to argue with the worker because he's unsatisfied with the room that he booked because he doesn't believe it's accommodating enough for the 4 people that's with him, 2 adults and 2 kids. Now, it is missing a little bit of context what led up to this, but luckily the hotel worker did make a TikTok to explain it, and it sounds like this guy was just trying to scam.
So what happened was he basically reserved a 2 queen bed suite that had the 2 queen beds and the sofa pull-out couch, but then he called and he canceled that reservation because it was too expensive, and then he made another reservation through a third party for the king suite that has obviously the king bed and the sofa pull-out couch, but he was fighting to get like the 2 queen bed suite, but we were sold out.
Yeah, this sounds really shady. This sounds like a really dog shit hustle that Ed and Eddie would have done to save a couple extra quarters to spend on jawbreakers. According to this story, he booked the larger suite with 2 queen beds and then canceled it, went to a third party to book the king suite, and then made this wonderful idea, this genius plan to throw a temper tantrum, kick his little feet, shake his fist, squeeze his nipples, and complain to the worker until they upgraded him to the queen suite, which he had just canceled. And it clearly didn't work because he must have forgot that hotels can sell rooms once they've been canceled. So the lady explained to him that every other room was booked, so he had no other alternatives, so he's just stuck there with his dick in his hand in that king suite that he purchased, or that he reserved. And he's not very happy about it.
What do you expect us to be, right? We have 2 kids and us. We can't all sleep in a king bed. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand. It's the way that Booking.com sent us the reservation, so all that we have is that, and we're sold out for tonight.
Okay, I get that. So what do you expect us to do? That's my question.
What do you mean, what does she expect you to do? She expects you to go fuck yourself. Who cares? She's not your mom. It's not her responsibility to coddle you. She's given you the cold, hard truth, and you're refusing to accept it, and there's nothing she can do. There's no wiggle room to somehow just snap her fingers and all of a sudden all of the hotel rooms are available for you to take your pick of. It's you figure it out. You caused this problem. This is a problem you created. Now you find the solution. You're the one that blew this whole operation here, ruined the family vacation, bah humbugged Christmas away with your terrible booking. You know, that's on you, buddy. Like, I don't understand why he's trying to put the onus on her to solve the problem he created. And again, this is assuming this wasn't a scam from the get-go, which to me it does sound like it. Like he's going through this sob story of, we have 2 kids. It's 2 adults and 2 kids, and it's cold outside. It's 70 degrees outside. Like, what do you want us to do? Go out there and freeze to death? Oh my god, we're gonna fucking starve if we don't get this double queen bedroom. No. It seems like he's just trying to drum up a sob story and try and get upgraded and pay the price of the king suite, which was a smaller one. And if the goal was to scam, I think he should have done a better job of acting and come up with a more sympathetic story. Just go whole hog with this one. Double down. Get the family involved. So, you know, get some props. You have your wife wheel in one of the kids on a stretcher, right? With an oxygen tank set up to it, maybe even like a heartbeat monitor or something. And you just like gently pat their head like, it's okay, Cliff. We'll find somewhere else to go tonight. God damn it, Martha, I made him a promise. We'll get him to that doctor's appointment. We just need somewhere to stay first. We'll find it. You know, then maybe with the sympathy and the tears start flowing, then maybe the hotel worker somehow clears up a room. But you just didn't commit hard enough. I do think this is a scam, by the way. I really do get that feeling. He continues to ignore the most crucial part of this statement. It's not just a king bed in that suite. It's a king bed plus a full pull-out couch, or a full pull-out bed from the couch. So that's already 2 beds. You can absolutely, comfortably have 4 people in a 2-bed situation. Now, I do understand that it's possible he's in a loveless marriage and him and his wife haven't shared a bed in the last, like, 10 years, but I think just for one night, they could set that aside, sleep next to each other in order for him to have an extra night to solve this problem. But for some reason, he keeps ignoring that statement about the pull-out couch.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, so we could either check you into the room or we could cancel the reservation. That's the only two options.
Sleep in our car?
No, I'm not.
I mean, where else are we going to go? Are there any other Holiday Inn Express hotels you can check us into?
I don't have the power to do that, but there are Holiday Inn Expresses in Bloomington.
So you're not going to help us. You're going to say, take the room as it is, or you're on your own.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what she should do, and exactly all she can do in this situation. There is no further help she can offer because the whole place is fucking booked, and it's your fault that this has become a catastrophe.
What I can do to help you guys is get you guys checked into the room that has the king bed and the sofa pull-out couch. But apart from that, we don't have any other rooms to check you guys into. If it's regarding what you guys reserved, you would have to call Booking.com so that they could assist you with something that happened on their end. But this is just the information that we've received from Booking.com.
Who hasn't checked in? What else is available with more beds?
We don't have any other rooms available.
Who hasn't checked in yet?
Another brilliant plan from the chess master. So now he's wondering if he can just take a room from someone who hasn't currently checked in. I'm sure that's totally legal and won't lead to a huge problem for the hotel worker to do that. Man, this guy really does think he's the main character. I have no doubt he's gone through his entire life with people just absolutely giving him everything he's ever wanted on a silver platter. He just comes across as that kind of entitled douchebag. What an absolutely outrageous ask. Who hasn't checked in yet, and can I have their room? What do you mean, no?
These rooms are reserved. I can't take them from somebody that's already reserved a room.
You gave somebody our room, right? The way it was supposed to be reserved?
No, because we held the room that we had the information for, which is the King Suite. That's what Booking.com sent over to us, so we kept that room for you guys.
You can hear this guy's brain start to melt down as it sloshes against his skull here and hurting itself as it's trying to process everything. So he believes that they've given away the room that he rightfully earned after canceling it. I believe he's referring to the room with 2 queen beds. And so he's for some reason upset about that and trying to guilt trip them like, oh, but this is what we really wanted, even though he had canceled it. So just a big blunder here.
How did you think 4 people would fit in that room? I mean, when you see it come in, don't you go, this doesn't make sense?
No, because Booking.com sends us the information, so that's the reservation, and we hold it as it is.
You didn't thoroughly investigate this man's family after he had reserved a room through Booking.com? You didn't go to his Facebook page and look at the height and weight of each member of his family in order to deduce whether or not they would comfortably fit into a king suite? Are you even doing your job? Unbelievable. I mean, now I see the guy has a point. Just what a fucking stupid asshole. Holy shit. And again, he keeps ignoring the most important part. It's not just one king bed in that room. There's also a full mattress on that sofa. It's a pull-out couch. So he can absolutely fit his whole family there. 4 people can stay in 2 beds. It's been done plenty of times before. I've also been in the situations like that where it's no problem at all. It's pretty easy.
So you think 4 of us can sleep in that room? That's your suggestion?
I'm not too sure how you guys were going to, do the setup in there. We just have the reservation as it was sent in to us.
And you have no other alternatives to solve it?
We're completely sold out for tonight.
Shockingly, no other room sprung up as available in the 30 seconds this guy spent pressing the issue, so unfortunately it's still in the exact same spot. Though if a room did become available, I would absolutely understand if she just didn't bother telling him, because fuck this guy.
I'm just stepping in, but you have a king bed and a pull-out bed, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 beds.
And 4 kids. 2 kids and us. And it's none of your business either. What are you doing jumping into this?
Well, look, I mean, I don't think that it's...
none of your business.
It's,
Yeah, shut it.
that's not really respectful. I think we can just go ahead and cancel your reservation.
Then what are we going to do?
I'm not too sure, but there are a lot of hotels in the area.
Why don't you just sit tight for a second?
I will. I'll be here till 11.
I believe this cliffhanger is him attempting to intimidate her with a call to the police department. At least that's what I'm led to believe here. But who really knows, since season 2 of this hasn't rolled around yet. But I'd love to know what he'd call 911 about. Like, what's your emergency? Well, you see, at the nearby Holiday Inn Express, they're not letting me steal someone else's room. No, I booked the King Suite and canceled the previous one, but I should still get the previous one, am I right? No? Well, what do you mean?
We'll cancel if there's no penalty.
Yeah, we can cancel.
If there's no penalty. Booking.com gonna charge us?
No, but you just gotta give a call to Booking.com and let them know that you want to cancel, and then there's no penalty. Okay, call Booking.com.
Do you know what the cancellation terms are? Is there a 24-hour notice? Is there...
They could tell you.
This is where the random NPC encounter finally concludes. For some reason, he keeps asking her Booking.com's policies as if she's somehow an employee of Booking.com now, as opposed to this hotel. What a real mess, you know. This guy's bad news. I'll just say what everyone's thinking. You know, I'll be brave. I don't like this guy, and I'll say it. I don't like him. I also don't know what the fuck he expected to happen with this whole thing. Even if there were available rooms, I don't know exactly how this scam works. Why would they just upgrade you to that room for free when it's your fault, it's your mistake? I just don't see that ever really working, but I guess it must in some capacity if it's a well-known tactic. But anyway, just wanted to share this because people that insult and be rude and nasty to customer service workers for no reason always deserve to be made fun of themselves. And that's about it. So yeah. I'm not usually one who believes in the paranormal, unexplained hocus-pocus like ghouls, goblins, gnomes, ghosts, and birds. But with this situation, I am starting to believe there might be something that science can't explain. 3 days ago, I made that video on Kenneth Copeland, the man whom I believe to be a demon in human skin. He's an outrageously wealthy, corrupt preacher who uses faith to fuck the piggy banks of all of his followers to take as much money from them as possible and hoard it all for himself. And on the same day that I posted that video, this peculiar piece of information drops about an unhinged pastor going on a rant defending rapists who assault women for wearing shorts. It's just an interesting coincidence that that all broke on the same day that I was covering Kenneth Copeland. It's like that phenomenon, like in Grand Theft Auto, where you see a car you've never seen before, you steal that car, and then all of a sudden you see it everywhere. It's one of those things where I made that video, and it's not like I go out of my way looking for, like, corrupt preachers or anything like that, but then I saw this happening at the same time. And it's just one of those head-scratching moments like, is this a message from the universe letting me know that it can always be worse? You know, in the words of Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish.
This is the kind of preaching we need. I told my wife, I said, Mama, when we go to Pigeon Forge, to the outlet malls, when you go uptown here.
Goober's out here looking like Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse. He's got that fucking wide bowling ball build here. His name is Bobby Leonard. And the way he delivers his sermons is a lot like a record constantly skipping a little bit, like he's glitching out constantly, and I have no doubt that's because he's this archaic fossil of a man. And I know that might sound a little harsh, and I'd almost feel bad for insulting this senile geriatric octogenarian, but he's also defending rape, so I really don't feel bad at all. He's a piece of shit.
We'll go sit at the parking lot at the outlet mall, the mall here. I said, you watch it. I said, count them. You'll find more women going to have shorts on than you will with pants and dresses put together.
Oh, say it ain't so. Shorts on as a woman? Those whores. Those harlots. Charlatans. Oh my goodness, Bobby. You're right. What an astute observation. It's so despicable. Wearing shorts as a female? Have some decency, have some class, have some shame. Oh, goodness gracious. So Bobby's sitting in the parking lot just looking at women, I guess. Sounding like a real creepy weirdo here, just sitting in his car looking at all the girls that go into the mall. Probably got some fucking binoculars out spying on them with hand on his meat. And he's just pointing out to his wife, look at this, can you believe it? There's more girls going in there with shorts than there are girls going in there with dresses and pants. Who could have guessed, huh? Heavens to Betsy.
So I sat there, I just want to be sure, but I sat there some time ago for, I don't know who's out in the, I guess it must have been some of the family. My wife don't go to that chopping down. And I sat there in my car.
What the fuck did you just say there, Bobby? It sounded like he casted an ancient spell. If I popped that sentence into Google Translate, it would destroy the service globally. It'd shut that bitch down because this is incomprehensible. What in the world? He just hit a full-blown scat man in the middle of his sermon. Sounded like Porky Pig.
I thought, I'm going to see if that's right. And I counted. Try that. You'll find more women go in those places with shorts than you will women with pants and dresses put together. Try it.
Yeah, go ahead, everyone. Try it. Land yourself on the sex offenders registry for being some kind of alarming creep in your car just looking at women's bottom half to count if they're wearing shorts versus dresses or pants. Very normal thing to do for a sane individual, Bobby. Great advice. What a remarkable challenge to issue your followers. He is way too fucking old to be speaking in front of people, by the way. He actually talks as if there's just perpetually peanut butter in his mouth and he's struggling to get through the words so that way he could, like, enunciate them. It's brutal listening to him blabbermouth like this.
If you got time, try it. Have your boy go up there and try it. Just watch for it. Have your girl go up there and watch for it. And you know, I used to say this. I haven't said this in a long time. You ready? I said, if you dress like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free. You don't like, do you? I'm right, though. I can't help you don't like it. I'm right. Because, you know, a man's a man. A man's a man.
Jiminy Christmas. Bobby raping's his hobby, Leonard, just saying flat out with his whole chest, if a woman gets raped and he's on the jury and she was wearing shorts, he would let the rapist go free. What an outrageously evil individual you are, Bobby. What chapter of the Bible was this in? I don't remember this excerpt anywhere. When I first read these headlines, I thought it was potentially it being interpreted as a pastor defending rapists. But nope, he just outright says it. He's not beating around the bush. He's not trying to hide anything. He's going full mask off, just saying point blank that if he is on the jury and a woman gets raped and she's wearing shorts, Bobby would let the rapist go free. What a dangerous thought process that is. He just believes that men are going to rape a woman because she's in shorts and that they're justified in doing so. This leads me to so many questions I'd like to ask Bobby on a personal level. For instance, how many women have you sexually assaulted because of their clothing choice, Bobby? That was probably too many words. His brain can't process all that. Let me break it down in simpler terms. How many women have you raped, Bobby? I feel as though the only people that would ever defend a heinous action such as rape would be a rapist. Like, I don't think you have many rape allies. And meanwhile, Bobby Leonard here, in front of the entire church service, takes time to justify that. So that is really alarming shit. I don't know how this plays into Christianity at all. I don't know why he would say any of this during a sermon. I don't know what he expected to happen. Like, I was with my wife the other day looking at girls going in the mall. They're all wearing shorts and stuff. And you know what? I used to say this. I'm going to say it right now. If a woman's wearing shorts and she gets raped and I'm on the jury, that man's going free. Can I get an amen? Hey, what are all these boos for?
When I was a boy, 80 years ago, I was raised in Martinsville, Virginia, partly in Moxfield, North Carolina. I don't even remember women wearing anything but dresses.
So what, you senile worm? It doesn't matter what a woman is wearing, she shouldn't be raped. Rape is bad no matter what. There's no justifying it, you absolute fucking scumbag.
Back then, well, anyway, I want you to go home depressed tonight. I'd rather go home encouraged, but I want you to go home wanting to serve God. But it seems that it seems like we've paid no attention to God.
Oh yeah, this is all about God at the end of the day here. Yeah, I'm sure this whole little tangent you're going on is very biblical. You know, the Lord was famous for justifying rape. You know, in fact, it was the 11th commandment that unfortunately Moses just left at the top of the mountain. Thou shalt not rape unless it is a woman wearing shorts. Am I right, Bobby?
Isn't that right? And the Bible says sometime that people think God has delayed his coming. And so as a result, a result of thinking God's latest coming, they begin to eat and drink and be drunken. And it seemed like right tonight, if all of our people, everybody comes to our church, thought that Jesus was coming Friday night, Saturday morning, you think they'll all be here?
What are you even saying? Are you drunk? Are you overdosing on Xanax? What is going on? There wasn't even a coherent thought in that entire, like, long fucking slurred speech there. That was actually nothing. It was a whole bunch of gobbledygook. There was nothing there. They're just letting anyone be a pastor these days, I guess. It's actually super interesting that the only time he's even lucid, like the only time when he's talking that makes any sense, is when he's saying that if he was on the jury and a woman got raped wearing shorts, the man would go free. That's the only thing he actually said that he didn't stumble his way through the statement of, saying a man's a man, a man's a man, so he would let the rapist go free. Maybe it's because that's the only thing he truly believes out of everything he was spouting during the sermon, so that's the only thing he was able to deliver with conviction, without just like falling and stumbling his way through his statements. It's horrifying. What a fucking sickening individual. Now, he did respond to the backlash, basically just apologizing. He said, "I am sorry for any hurt, I was wrong." So extremely concise, and I feel as though he's not sorry, he just doesn't like all of the negative attention it's brought to him in the church. Also, apparently the way he apologized was by putting it on their sign out front, so like the fucking billboard, "I am sorry for any hurt, I was wrong, Pastor Leonard." Literally has it like a new McDonald's item that they put on those boards out front of McDonald's. That's where he posted his apology for all of it. Again, I don't think he's remorseful even slightly. I think that's what he truly believes. He is a piece of shit. That's really about it. So yeah. Yeah, I had no idea this existed. Call me naive, I suppose. I don't typically go on TikTok, but I was going to take the plunge this afternoon because I was reading and watching so many videos about, like, Swiftie meltdowns and, like, parties being thrown, tears being shed, like, the happiest moment of their lives all over Taylor Swift getting engaged to Travis Kelce. And I just wanted to take a peek at some of it to see what all the hoopla was about. And before I even had a chance to type in words to the search bar, this video started auto-playing.
I'm free bleeding. In the grass, you're bleeding too.
Not gonna lie, that was a crazy hook. I'm free bleeding in the grass right now. It reminds me of Ty Lopez's infamous ad, "I'm in my garage right now." There's a lot to unpack here. So, she is on her period right now and letting the blood leak out from her and soak into the grass around her, returning the blood to Mother Earth. Now, shocker, I don't have periods, and I'm not going to pretend to be the preeminent expert on how they function, so this is a legitimate question. Is there really that much blood that comes out all at once? Because the way she's describing it makes it sound like the blood is pooling around her, like in Grand Theft Auto when you kill someone and the blood just like starts to fan out deeply from them. I would have imagined that if you sat here spread eagle for like an hour, you'd have some blood getting into the grass and like on your thighs and stuff, but not like the quantity that she's expressing here, making it sound like a fucking crime scene. Human thought process in the modern day about like how period blood is magical and has like divine properties. You remember a few months ago I was making fun of that goober, that goofball who's like, "I actually love to eat pussy that's on its period," or like have sex with girls on their period because it's divinity that I'm touching with my wiener. I get in there and there's like that period blood. Ugh. And then his sidekick loser who's like, "Yeah, you know, I'd have sex with a girl on her period. You know, if I'm afraid to get my sword a little bloody, then I'm not a good knight." And it's not like exclusive to just those douchebags' perspectives. Apparently, like, it's somewhat of a common thing on TikTok about like period blood being magical with arcane energies. So she is in that camp about like, this is magic, and by free bleeding on the grass, you are quenching the thirst of Mother Earth to make yourself more powerful. Not only that, you get reborn. So every month when your period starts, you die. You flatline. You go straight to Valhalla. But through your period blood, you are born anew. As long as you're bleeding on the grass, I guess.
I went to her page, and this is her entire channel. It's so fascinating.
You have a bleed, the most powerful and potent thing that you could be doing right now during this eclipse portal, during this last half of 2025, during forever your time on Earth is to offer your blood back to the Earth. Why? Because your blood has the ability to end war. It has codes and instructions for the Earth to reprogram the collective grid. And I know that sounds powerful, and I know that sounds like a lot, because it is.
What kind of fucking anime plotline is that? Your period blood can end wars by feeding it to the Earth? That... Who knew the secret was right under our nose the whole time? Now, far be it from me to poke holes in the theory here, but let's go back in time. Let's rewind the clocks. Before tampons existed, periods aren't something that just got, you know, introduced in new patch notes over the last 100 years and came packaged with tampons. There was a time where periods were here with no tampons. That period blood was hitting the soil back then. And there were still a lot of wars back then. I gotta tell ya, I'm not exactly convinced that period blood getting on the grass is enough to stop wars. And what in tarnation is the collective grid? That sounds like a secret society like the Illuminati, the fucking New World Order or something. It sounds like a villainous group out of a James Bond film. How is that reprogramming the collective grid, and how does that stop humans from starting wars against each other? I have so many questions. Also, what codes are in the period blood that are absent from every other blood? So, like, if I go out right now and I cut my hand, like a ritualistic cut with a ceremonial dagger on my hand, and drip some of that blood on the soil, what codes am I giving it? The Konami code? Like, what am I hitting it with? I don't know how there's a huge distinct difference there. Why does that have different energy and instructions and code? Also, why would the period blood even have instructions for stopping war in the first place? I just don't see how free bleeding on the grass is somehow going to drop a tutorial to the Earth on how to stop wars. Like, I feel like if there is instructions buried deep in the period blood, it probably wouldn't be instructions that pertain to war. It'd probably be about, like, babies or something, would be my guess, if there are instructions in there somewhere that you'd have to, you know, find the WikiHow guide on in the blood. I can't quite understand how she's drawing this connection of, like, dropping your period blood on the Earth to stop wars and trying to preach it like, listen everyone, we need to come together and we need to pool our blood on the grass. It's the only way to stop war.
Because you are that powerful. And I know that we've been taught, hide your tampons, inconvenience, PMS. It's all bullshit, okay? It's all bullshit. Your blood is a key, it's a code, it has living, alive instructions to regenerate the planet and to reprogram the entire collective grid from your womb space. And as we all do this collectively together, we reprogram the collective, and what is not in resonance with this vibration, with this new programming, has to fall away. It can't survive.
What language is that programming in? Java? C#? Like, how are you deciding what that programming is? How do you have control over that? And also, what won't survive the new programming? Is this like an extinction event or something? Like, I can't wrap my head around it. My third eye is not opening here. She's just spamming buzzwords, vibrations being the classic. Vibrate this, vibrate that, fucking everything is vibrations, which means literally nothing most of the time. And now she's using a new one here, a new buzzword, collective. No explanation, no clue what that's even supposed to mean, but collective! You know, jump scare you with that. We have to fight the collective, reprogram the collective, bleed the collective, free bleed! That kind of thing, I don't know. It just, all of this is just actual mumbo-jumbo nonsense here. And let's just go ahead and suspend disbelief for a moment. Let's say this is all very true, that by, by dripping your period blood on the grass, you are reprogramming the collective. Let's assume the collective refers to Earth and everything that inhabits it. How the fuck does every single womb space have the same instructions? Everybody is different. There is no way that her womb space instructions would match those of, you know, Taylor Swift. Like, there's gonna be very different protocol embedded in that period blood they're dripping and feeding to the earth. Like, maybe hers is trying to teach the earth and reprogram it to not have wars, but then you'll have a womb space from somewhere else that's, like, really about war. Like, we need more battles. So wouldn't these womb spaces conflict in these instructions, overload the collective, and then there's no one's in agreement anymore? Like, it falls apart. There's just nothing about this that is even remotely sensible. And that's what makes it so fucking amazing.
I have never lost weight so fast in my entire life with this elixir. Now that I have your attention, because we're in a system that preys upon your insecurities as a woman, this is my moon blood. This is my period blood mixed with a shit ton of water. It's not concentrated. And because 14 million people did in fact watch me free bleed on the earth, I thought, why not shock the system? Just a little bit more. Just be like, hi, there's a revolution happening of feminine wisdom, feminine magic, our feminine moon blood that has so much magic. I'm just feeling a little spicy, a little revolutionary, and God forbid a woman doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Mixing your period blood with some water for the sake of a TikTok video to slam dunk on the haters definitely sounds like something someone would do if they didn't give a fuck about it. Now, if you thought she was going to drink this panacea, you're wrong. I'm pretty sure she's doing this just to get people, like, hooked on it, you know, morbid curiosity. She doesn't actually consume this beverage, at least not on camera. Maybe she does in her, you know, spare time. But for this, she's using it more as, like, a talking tool. I also imagine it's not her blood with water in there. It wouldn't come out this red. This is very clearly some kind of, like, juice that she is pretending is blood with water. You know, how eye-catching. And she's using it to talk about this revolution she's leading about free bleeding on the earth to, like, regenerate and stop war.
And this is about the feminine reclamation. This is about feminine freedom. This is about remembrance. So I'm going to take this to my red rose bush outside. And you might be entirely annoyed and pissed off by this. And I might be too if I was stuck in the system. But anyways, I'm going to go offer this to the earth. And she's going to take it and alchemize and transmute whatever I've released through this blood, through this cycle. And then she's going to repattern and upgrade my energetic and physical field. So that's the gift, and that's on being a daughter of the earth.
Pissed off or annoyed is definitely not the right way to describe the feelings after watching this. It's more just confused, and it's very laughable. Like, it's more silly than it is infuriating. Also, the way that she presents this here sounds far more selfish. How she's going to go dump her blood onto the earth so that way she can reap the benefits of basically leveling up. She's treating this like it's a Call of Duty lobby, and she's prestiging by dumping this period blood into her rose bush. So what, is it no longer about, you know, reprogramming the collective to benefit Mother Earth so that way we can stop wars? Is it now just about your personal gain from doing this? I don't know. That no longer seems like this, you know, altruistic act of free bleeding on the grass to improve and regenerate Earth. To me, it just sounds far more sinister. I think she let the mask slip a little too much. You might be feeding her power by free bleeding on the grass, because now she's only talking about what she's gaining from it, you know? She's getting her energetic pattern, you know, reorganized and, you know, reflaffitated. Also, her physical field is being upgraded, so she is now reaching, like, a cosmic level that she wasn't at previously. She's getting up to, like, Thanos galactic threat now. It doesn't really seem like it's about improving the Earth anymore. It seems more about what she gets to gain from it.
This is my current microdosing routine in under 30 seconds. I microdose with Flodos. They're my favorites. I've been microdosing with Flodos since June. They use a shamanic strain. It's very wise, very loving, very gentle. I typically microdose 100 milligrams or 200 milligrams. 100 milligrams is a really beautiful sweet spot for a starting point. So it's been over a year since I moved to Peru in the Sacred Valley. This is my home. From Los Angeles. I'm working with ayahuasca.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That checks out. So she was in LA and then had her spiritual awakening with, you know, some microdosing, which I think, you know, I have a sneaking suspicion may have turned into some megadosing, and then she moved and started with ayahuasca. So a tale as old as time and only being more common these days. Albeit most people don't usually end up talking about like free bleeding on the grass to save the earth from war and whatever, but even still, very interesting. Wanted to yap about it a bit. That's it. See ya.